Pinky ring up to the moon. And girl, I'm so damn into you. I'm done with these models and done with these bottles. Girl, I'm just trying to talk to you. We don't have to go to the room, but girl, best believe if we do. That we getting naughty, the body's my party, so yeah, but that sound like the truth. But we can go as far as you want to, cause ain't nobody finna stop you. We ain't deep bumping out of this bottle, when we fornicating back at the Tahoe. Then that Marilla go off on my phone. I pick up to you saying you home alone. I hop in the whip, and I shit the 6 on the wrist of your push, because I know that it's going down tonight. Let's fuck it up now, just maybe go round, cause we in the clouds tonight. I'm trying to show you the time of your life, so girl, let you down tonight. Let's go a few rounds tonight. I'm lost in the sauce, so what's it gon' cost? Let's play your sides tonight. It's about to go down, it's about to go down, it's about to go down tonight. It's about to go down, it's about to go down, it's about to go down tonight. I'm lost in the sauce, so what's it gon' cost? Let's play your sides tonight. It's about to go down tonight. It's about to go down, it's about to go down tonight. So many missed calls, I understand why you was pissed off. Let me explain for a minute before you start jumping to conclusion. I really don't understand why you doing this. Chill for a minute, let me explain this. I'm sorry for all the attention I ain't paying. All of this I need to be brave, yeah, I paid it. The only one to do better than the main shit. Yeah, you baby, all day, baby. You be in my mind, best believe I ain't playing. Stay up on my grind just for you is what I'm saying. Make a move for you, be on my scripture on the daily. So maybe be less insecure, cause you the best and that I can ensure. Like Geico, when you progressive that I can't ignore. My A1, you my lady, and that's for sure, so stop it. Ready your head just to go and pop shit off. Also bitches that ain't even really jacking, dog. You tripping, baby, I ain't even got no options, though. But if I did, I'm in my pockets, you complete me. Oh, goddamn, you don't understand it. When you do what you should be begging cause I'm damaged. You hit me down way before I hit them blessings. You fucking up the ground like a bandit. Play vacation, motivation, keep me in the studio, see deprivation. Got me going crazy, though, my body shaking. Think about that body and the love we make your faces. We was meant to be together, forever and ever, for worse or for better. And poor each other, it don't matter. You was room in my grind, in my pockets fat. A hustle, the glass, one of them is gonna shine out tonight. Let's fuck it up now, just maybe go round, cause we in the clouds tonight. I'm trying to show you the time of your life, so girl, let you down tonight. Let's go a few rounds tonight. I'm lost in the sauce, so what's it gon' cost? Let's play your sides tonight. It's about to go down, it's about to go down, it's about to go down tonight. It's about to go down, it's about to go down, it's about to go down tonight. I'm lost in the sauce, so what's it gon' cost? Let's play your sides tonight. It's about to go down tonight. It's about to go down, it's about to go down tonight.
Yes.
All right.
It's good. It's good.
How y'all doing?
Good.
It's Thursday.
Yes, it is.
It's Thursday.
Salute. Hope everybody is doing good. Hope you had a good week.
Mm-hmm.
Hope you're gearing up for a good weekend.
Weekend is here.
It's almost here. It's almost
Shout out to y'all.
here.
You made it through.
Absolutely. Cuteness.
Hey, babe.
What's popping?
Good. How you doing?
I'm good. Like your yellow over there.
Thank
Mellow
you.
yellow.
Bumblebees.
You
Don't
know
get
how I
stung.
do.
Don't get stung.
You know how I do. How was your week?
It was kind of challenging. I ain't even gonna lie. Shit.
Yeah, today was the day.
Listen.
Today was the day.
Listen, Linda.
You had to have the right influence to get through the day, huh?
Ooh, child.
We're going to talk about it.
Yeah,
but hope y'all doing good. We did. Hope y'all doing good. Let's go ahead and share the thumbnail just in case y'all didn't see it.
Just in case.
The power of influence. Influence of power. Shout out to IG on the check-in. Shout out to everybody pulling in. Cam
Facebook
pulled in. Quantum pulling in. My guy, V Twizzy. Lloyd Vital. Notorious Glorious. Brooklyn's finest. My brother.
Grizzly's in the building.
My brother, Teddy Grizzly in the building. Shout out to Facebook popping in. IG, YouTube, and the group page as well. Everybody is blasting off. So what's good, everybody?
All is appreciated.
And let's go ahead and get to the pleasantries. AR is on the check-in. Notorious Ruthless Media.
Peace to you. Peace to you.
For real. Mrs. She Said is in the building. Of course. What up, cuteness?
Gotta drop that. Boom, boom, boom. Fire, 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 fire.
And my sister is
here. Hey, Quan.
What's good?
Welcome,
Hope you're doing well, Quan.
Hit that like.
AJ in the building. What's good, man? Hope you're doing well.
Hey, brother.
And Facebook pulling in. Sarah is always with us. We appreciate you, love. Hope you're doing well. Hope you had a great week. And y'all see the title today, Power Influence, the Influence of Power. I don't got a lot of banners, no questions, all going to be generated organically, but a lot of inspirational, positive information today because the power of influence is incredible.
It is. It is.
And what made me
get yours from?
Yeah. You know, you're a positive, motivating force within my life.
Yes.
So, you know, I look to inspiration and you guys as my family are absolutely that. But influence, what influences us to do what we do? Who are our influences? So on and so forth. What comes to your mind when you think of influence? And everybody out in the chat, what do y'all think? Influence. What influences you?
When I think of influence, I think of easily being led, honestly.
Okay.
To some degree. But influences, I think the first thing I think of is love. And where that influence stemmed from was actually the Bible. You know, besides being at home, the lessons in there, I got more of love out of anything else, out of all the stories. That's what I pulled out of that.
Okay.
So
shout out to your viewers pulling in with those stars.
All right now, y'all appreciate it.
Influence. The capacity to have an effect on the character, development, or behavior of someone or something, or the effect itself. Influence. The dictionary definition. Webster's Dictionary. Feel free if anybody want to expound or expand on that in the chat. Feel free.
Influence.
3 wise men, like in the Bible. But these are not 3 wise men from the Bible. These are 3 particular who I deem particularly wise. And we're going to have some conversations tonight.
Talk about it.
Indeed. So you guys let me know, you know, what y'all think about influence, what you've heard thus far. Shout out to our sister on the pull-in.
Hey now.
Red Lipstick Vibes. Red Vibe.
It's always positive.
Always.
And a little bit.
Drelly, what's good?
Hey, Brother Harris.
See you out there, Drelly. See you out there, Drelly. See you getting that work, Drelly. Drelly ain't playing out there.
Put a chokehold.
What we are seeing today.
Influence.
Shoulder shrugs. Yeah. The
Grizzly
power
chimed in.
of influence. What my guy said.
Grizzly said family and legacy.
That's a great influence. Great influence. Family,
Definitely
legacy.
motivating force.
Indeed.
Goodness.
Just like I said, from L.I.A herself, a positive motivating force in my life. That's always going to be an influence to make a move in a positive direction. And this week was very telling. I heard, what sparked this thought in my head is you having a conversation, and you were like, we're very influential, whether people want to admit to it or not, whether they want to give us credit, kudos when they use our information, material, so on and so forth or not. We see it. We hear. We know where we heard it first, right, and how they regurgitating it. And it's influential. And, we are the first to give kudos to a content creator that sparked the thought, sparked the conversation. We hit them in the back and ask them if we have permission to further expound or use a video clip, so on and so forth. But the influence, we never hesitate to let someone know how influential they are
to us. Yeah.
What would you say about that?
I mean, I agree. I agree with what you're saying. Without that influence, we probably wouldn't have got to where we are now. The motivation and the inspiration to grow further, and hone your craft and, make your content great, not just good.
Indeed.
So
power is a direct way to control, influence, indirect way to get people to change. Talk about it, Quantum. AJ say, very influential for us. The atmosphere that he provided.
Absolutely.
Just, showed us and reinforced that there's still love out here. There's still people looking for love. There's people still fans of love, trying to recreate that atmosphere. And it was very influential for us. We wanted to always be a part of what he was doing,
right,
because the energy was contagious.
Yes.
And that influence wanted us to influence others.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah.
Army vet on the pull-in. What's up, my guy? Salute to you. Thank you for your service.
Peace.
Influence, very strong word. You are absolutely right. Absolutely. There are people out there that are looking to have what you have. We appreciate that, man. We appreciate the kind words. We appreciate the inspiration. It continues us to be very conscious of what we do have and what we present, how we represent each other.
Yep.
So we appreciate that. We appreciate y'all. You're inspirational to me. We appreciate that, man. Appreciate that. So tonight we got some inspirational information. I am not going to waste any time. I'm gonna get right to it.
Getting right to it.
I'm gonna get right. If
you want to see the videos, y'all come on over to YouTube.
And I'll show some love over
Maybe
there.
I'll reverse it.
Yeah, I'll show some love over there. But let's go ahead and start with, like I said, these three wise men that I was talking about. You guys feel free to check these guys out on TikTok. One is going to be Shahid King Bolson.
Shahid King Bolson.
Very inspirational for me. His thought process, the way he examines, the way he articulates, very inspirational. Let's go ahead and pull up a video from him. You guys will probably be familiar with him when I pull him up. And we go from there.
Backwards day in the West. Bad is good, wrong is right. It's no surprise that you think that a person should be called whatever pronoun they self-identify as, because that's what you've always believed. That's what you've always done. You self-identify as virtuous, as moral, as righteous, freedom-loving, tolerant people, even though you have never been that, and no one in the world sees you as that, but still you insist that that's what we call you. You insist that we deal with you as if that's what you are. You've always believed that the whole world should participate in your self-delusion. So of course you came up with this idea that a man should be called a woman and treated as a woman if he believes that that's what he is, or a woman a man. This isn't new with you.
What you guys think? I know that was a bit much to swallow, but that's our society. That's our culture. That was Shaheed King Bolson. We're going to dive a little further into him. You can find him, on social media. He's got a few books. Dive in. Give a little bit of time and effort into the message, because although the messenger is very unique, the message that he has is provocative, thought-provoking. My mind V Twizzy checked in. He said, shout out to our brother, Triple L, for putting me on.
The deception.
Calisthenics game that allowed me to inspire the world with free healthcare. Everything beast mode since 1992. You guys were very inspirational. Everything beast mode is international. And to watch you guys go from the park
to B2, like they influenced me. I didn't hesitate not one time after each child to go to the park and utilize that time on those monkey bars.
Indeed.
Strengthening and showing them how to do it.
Indeed.
Keep their bodies strong. So it's important. You don't have to go to a gym. The park is good enough.
Yes, indeed. Shout out to V Twizzy. Shout out to V Twizzy.
Absolutely.
That was Shaheed King Bolson. We're going to come back and visit him. Sebastian Ingus is another one.
Ingus.
I want you guys to take a listen to Sebastian. And we're going to continue to move on. Let's find Sebastian. Sebastian, where are you?
Do what we value most. The easiest way to become more self-aware is simply get honest about what you value. My whole first book is on this topic, the difference between the ideal and the real you. Most people are presenting to the world their ideal self, right? What they know they should be doing. How they should answer that question, what they should be valuing, totally disassociated from who they really are and what they really value and what is really giving them the payoffs. So it's closing the gap between the real and the ideal that you take back your power and begin to become a creator in your life again. That's hard for most people because they spend so much time trying to convince the world that they're this ideal person that they are not, right? And so easy way to look at this is I always do what I value most at any moment in time. One time I said this to an audience and the woman in the audience responded and she says, that's not true. And I go, explain. She goes, well, I go to movies with my dad all the time. The movies I don't like. And I don't answer. She goes, oh, I value spending time with my father more than the movies. Yeah. Exactly. We always do what we value most. So there's a payoff to everything we do. If we're doing something repeatedly, it's because it's an attempt at a solution. It's a payoff for some area of our life. The key to take back our time, energy, and money is we need to be aware of what we are allocating it to, because over time it becomes largely unconscious.
That was Sebastian. Sebastian Ingus. And those two gentlemen, again, are two of the three gentlemen that I'm going to bring forth. And I got a couple of other videos to play. But the power of influence, I try not to get wrapped up in the messenger, right, in how they look, the words that they choose, how their tone is, and focus more on what they're saying. Right. And overall, the power of influence lies at the common denominator slot for me, because it's what we choose to allow to influence us. What drives our engine? What put gas in our engine? Right. We determine that.
I agree.
What say you, Mrs.?
I mean, I agree. I can sit in any environment and have someone spew their thoughts, and try to influence me. But it's my value system. It's my standards. It's my way of thinking that's going to make me decide to follow or just, listen to the information and let it go in one ear and out the other. That's how that used to be, right? Absolutely. It's going in one ear and out the other.
Absolutely. Final guy is Jordan Peterson. I want you guys to take a listen to Mr. Peterson.
The three wise men.
Important for her to model to her children the fact that adults have important adult activity to engage in. Partly because the children have to see that because they're going to be adults, or they end up in the Peter Pan world, right? It's like, well, why would I give up the pleasures of childhood to undertake the responsibilities of adulthood if there's nothing of value in that? And it seems perfectly reasonable to me that adult women can model adult behavior as well as taking care of children. And here's a couple of different facts. The educational attainment of a mother predicts the educational attainment of children over and above the IQs of the mother and father. The father's educational attainment doesn't. Right. So that's weird and interesting. And then countries that value female education and emancipate women do way better on the economic front.
Yeah, I feel Mr. Peterson. I think a lot of his content come across my feed often.
Okay.
Straight facts.
Okay.
Straight facts. I absolutely believe in that. The mother it's our job. Like, because when the children are little, we are the educators. They definitely need to grasp mommy and daddy time. Adult time, the difference between when their presence is welcomed and when their presence is unwanted and not needed, during certain times for adults. There was something that I held dear, making sure there was a specific bedtime. No ifs, ands, buts about it, because that nighttime, certain time was quality time for mommy and daddy. So there was a regular bedtime routine with each child. And as they got older, kind of, it adjusted or whatever the case may be, but it was something that was set in stone. So by the time they were school age, it was a good habit. Let's just say. But I absolutely got insulted or just shamed for being that consistent. Absolutely, for being that consistent. Like, it was like, why they gotta go to bed at 8:30, 8 o'clock, and the sun is still out, when school first starts. Yeah, no, I don't care. So they gotta go to bed. They need that full rest so they can get up and be rested. They gotta get up early. So,
Appreciate you. Shout out to World Class on the check-in. What up, bro? Hope you're doing well. You had a good week.
Class. Peace, man. Peace.
Absolutely. Right?
Yeah, and you adjust it as they get older, but at least they know this is why. You don't just go to bed. I don't care. Go to bed. No, give them some realistic thought on that. We spend most of our time catering and taking care of you guys. So in the nighttime, we definitely need us, because we gotta go to bed too. So we need at least an hour and a half to debrief and check in with one another, and levels of intimacy and such, without exhaustion and children banging down the door and acting a fool. So, it's those little things that you can be very consistent with very early. So there's a routine, and they understand that, So it was many a times, sitting down with these young girls and explaining how important it was for mommy and daddy to have this friendship, this relationship, and it was something that they needed to understand and value, because if we're not good, y'all ain't gonna be good. And that's they needed to understand that. So, and they do. So I'm grateful that, the tools that we were trying to instill, it's worked out.
Absolutely.
Word,
Sarah checked in. She said routine is
tomorrow.
important. She'll be 23 tomorrow. Absolutely. Shout out to Greg Sue on the check-in. Peace, bro. Hope all is well. Hope you had a good week. Routine is important, Sarah said. I explain sleep to my son.
Welcome, Facebook.
Absolutely.
They need a lot of explaining. They don't understand the world around us, and we're quite ignorant, and we lack understanding that they don't know. We gotta clue them in on everything. So be mindful of that.
Indeed. Shout out to everybody pulling in. We're talking about the power of influence / the influence of power. And I mean, if you're going to start, you got to start from the beginning, right? So let's do that. Y'all see who that is. One of our 3 wise men for tonight. Let's hear what he got to say.
The deception is cruel. I mean, from the moment they wrote the words, "We the people," leaders in the United States have relentlessly sought ways to subvert democracy in America. They've sought ways for outwitting their own founding documents for over 200 years. Even in the Constitution itself, it provides for elections, and then it imposes mechanisms that render those elections pointless.
What y'all think? This is
people.
a influential document for our society, our country, our lives. Became very important. And it was filled with deception from the very beginning. It's crazy.
Written in deception.
From the beginning. So again, the life, the liberty, the pursuit of happiness, the things that influence all of us, quote unquote, quote unquote. From the beginning.
The separation of powers, the checks and balance system. Well, whose power is being checked? Elected power, the power of the elected representatives of the electorate. Nobody checks the Supreme Court, for example. That's really the supreme branch of the U.S. government, the Supreme Court. And those are lifetime positions.
Lifetime. Lifetime. Yeah, sitting in there.
90
Some of them
years
are
old.
for real. That should be changed. That's unhealthy for us as a society. Someone almost 100 years old.
It's influencing policy, laws, legacy, our country.
The framers of the Constitution seem to be primarily dedicated to creating a system that would ensure maximum inefficiency. Because the founding fathers were, as we know, deeply suspicious of government itself. I mean, think about it. No taxation without representation. That was the slogan. Well, that could go a different way. No representation, no taxation. If you asked most Americans today, which would you rather have, your whole paycheck or your senator? What do you think they would choose?
What would you choose? Your whole paycheck or your senator?
Right.
What would you choose?
Paycheck.
Which one would you like to have?
Paycheck. Are they really working in the best interests of the people as a whole? All of us?
Which do you think they would feel is more useful to them? Their full salary or their congressperson? Their congressperson who is completely subservient to his or her campaign donors and to whatever corporate sector they want to enter once they leave office. Their congressperson who listens and obeys lobbyists more than they'll ever listen to their constituents. I mean, the entire political platform for any candidate is calculatedly drafted to serve the interests of whatever business sector they're going to target for campaign funding. That's why they put the policies that they do or the proposals that they do. Elections in the U.S. are like talent shows, just like those shows where the audience votes for whoever sings the best.
The power of influence. Who's the next President Idol? Find out. Make sure you vote at 7979. And this is what influences the entire country. These were the founding fathers. You don't get more influential than the founding. And again, the power of influence / the influence of power, because we vote just like for American Idol.
And I would say make them all volunteer positions to see how many people would step into play to do the work. Right? You should be, if you're that dedicated You already have an income, you work, you have a business, right? Because you can't go into being these things without having some type of career, right? I would think. Your own shit, right? So you're living off us, but if it became a volunteer type position, who's stepping up to do the work? That's what show the real character. Paycheck. Yeah, give me my paycheck.
They say, give me my money.
Y'all doing my little bit of dollars, all this extra tax.
The laws and justice system was not created for African Americans. We were slaves when the document was written. It sounded like it wasn't written for any Americans.
Says Mr.
It
Army
was
vet.
doomed from the start, Army vet, for anybody that signed on, no matter what your color was. Look at it from an overview.
So that then they'll win a recording contract or something like that with a major producer. It's the same thing. You elect a politician, whoever sings the best, so that then that politician can win lucrative deals with business. It's got nothing to do with your interests. You pay a higher percentage of taxes, in fact, than corporations, but corporations have a higher degree of representation than you do. I mean, according to what's called the Citizens United decision, that was in 2010, corporations have personhood status under the law, except it's a super personhood status because they're larger than life. Corporations have the right to free speech under this ruling, and that speech includes political campaign funding. So literally money talks. The rule says that it would be an unfair restriction on corporations' right to freedom of speech to limit how much money they can spend to get whatever they want from politicians.
Money talks. Money talks.
We know that. This is America. Money talk. Bullshit.
In the political world, in the business world, how has this transcended into the relationship world where your money dictates how loud you can talk, how much you can talk, how much I do, how much you do, how much the kids listen to you? Money.
Something, American money, that really has no value.
Influence. The power of influence, the influence of power, or the appearance of power.
Corporations are winning here. We just now getting it, right? Where individuals are becoming corporations.
Peace to the gods and the earths. Peace to my sis. Hey, Karma. Hope you're doing well.
Hey.
World Class A is correct. The Supreme Court did label companies as a person. Can't make this shit up.
You can't make this shit up.
Corporations as quote unquote persons.
Person.
Sounds like we need to get in how to play these games. Cheat off of paper, Quantum. Cheat off of paper. But as I've always said, etymology, Farsi, syntax makes it all clear. Talk about it, World Class.
Freedom and democracy. You see? They come up with every possible way to shut you out. And who do you suppose made that Citizens United decision? Well, it was the Supreme Court. I mean, look at education, at higher education in the United States. A functioning democracy requires an informed and educated public. That's what Thomas Jefferson said. He said that a well-informed citizenry is the best defense against tyranny. So what can you deduce might be the objective when you make education prohibitively expensive? When you set up a system to restrict access to education for the citizenry and make it only accessible for the rich. Well, that's a recipe for tyranny, according to one of your own founding fathers, but that's what you're doing.
Mm-hmm. He rolled for that, baby.
Uneducated society, man.
And then influence people to go to college and make college expensive as hell for underwater basket weaving degrees.
Mm-hmm. And they come out of it with a lot of debt.
Heavily influenced. Get a Black's Law Dictionary, 4th edition, and look up the word mean in law? We have one of those dictionaries, and absolutely look up what those words mean in law.
Yeah. It's a little mind-blowing. Black Law Dictionary. Get you one.
I mean, my mother was still paying off her student loans when she was in her 70s. And you keep finding new ways to discourage people from going to university. It's not enough that you expect an 18 or 20-year-old to come up with more money than it takes to buy a house just to be able to get a degree. That's not enough. So you have to start creating useless degrees, useless so-called disciplines, degrees in electronic feminist activism, degrees in navel gazing, so that you can then start to say, well, university is really pointless. As if there aren't still degrees available in the sciences, in law, in business, in history, in the fundamental disciplines. You make people think that university is all just a joke. You set up all of these absurd degree programs to make university look like it's pointless. So why bother? Everyone thinks, just why bother? Why should I go into debt just to get a useless degree? Meanwhile, the children of the elite are still going to university because they're the ones who are on track to be the managers of society. They're on track to rule you.
See where influence comes in at? That's why I asked in the beginning, what are your influences? Who influences you? What influences you? What influences do you put into other people? It's an amazing question. It's something that requires some self-reflection, some self-examination.
That part.
Because influence is very important, and we get to organically pick and choose what we're influenced by and how we move accordingly.
Right.
What say you, Mrs.? What say y'all out there?
I agree. And this information is important because the children need to be aware of that. They do have a right? Many of freedoms. And you have the right to choose what you're influenced by. So, keep it positive, keep it inspiring, creative, motivating, and try to stay in that realm. It's hard because what society in this world thrusts at people on a daily basis. But you choose that way of thinking.
I mean, why do you think that they didn't allow slaves to learn to read in the South? The same reason that they don't want you to be educated, because you're serfs. The U.S. is looking to revive domestic manufacturing. They want to bring back offshore factory jobs back to the U.S. They want you to be on an assembly line. They don't want you to have a lot of big ambitions about your future. They don't want you to have the intellectual tools for self-sufficiency or critical thought so that you can actually see and recognize and understand what your society really is. Everything about the society is calculated to marginalize the population. And one of the main instruments that they use to marginalize the population is the constant repetition about how free and how democratic it is. It's quite telling that for any other country in the world, if you want to learn about it, if you want to understand it, if you want to really know that society, you have to go there. You have to live there. You have to mix with the people. You have to experience it. But with America, it's different. People outside of the U.S. understand it and know it far better than Americans do. And if Americans want to actually learn about and understand their country, they would have to leave the U.S. They would have to go outside the U.S. to educate themselves about it.
Y'all heard that?
Sometimes you might have to go out your hood to get educated.
Sometimes you got to look at it from an overview.
Yes. Because they are getting different information about us as a nation. Absolutely. Coming up, it seems like other nations know more. They know more. They get more of the reality and the truth of the history here versus what our children get.
Absolutely.
Going to,
Let's let them finish up.
You would have to go outside of the U.S. to learn what America really is. Thomas Jefferson's defense against tyranny has been and is being systematically repressed in the United States. So you tell me what kind of a system that means it is. For security reasons, the government gets to watch you online. They get to know everything that you're doing. But for the same security reasons, you're not allowed to watch them online. You're not allowed to know what they're doing. All the CCTV cameras are pointed at you. All the surveillance systems are pointed at you. Meanwhile, your so-called public servants have more privacy than you do. What kind of a servant has more privacy and more rights than their supervisor? I mean, isn't that supposed to be the relationship? Politicians and bureaucrats, state workers, they're public servants, right? But can you monitor what Senator so-and-so is doing on the internet? Can you listen in when Congressman such and such meets with his donors, meets with his financiers, his funders, with businessmen? I mean, what's on Joe Biden's browser history? He can find out what's on yours. Why can't you know what's on his?
Can you?
World Class said he's wrong about that. Okay, probably the previous part. Nick Chakoboski, my guy,
Hey,
best
now.
size finest
Welcome,
right there.
welcome,
What
welcome.
up, Punch? Hope all is well, my guy. He said college is a false.
Trades are more needed than a degree. I watched South Korean soldiers when I was stationed in Korea have their parents come to school and pick their major / minor.
That's true. And the truth is hidden to us, be not to others. Okay. That's what's wrong with these foreigners. They think they know the devil that we watched grow up better than us. Laugh out loud. They have a
Not
different
all
view.
world class.
And it's
I
a
don't think
different
everyone
view.
is as astute as yourself and people like us.
People like
I'm
me
just saying.
that know the real don't go viral. That stopped that mistake with Malcolm. Okay. That makes sense. Makes sense. He's almost done.
And more importantly, the real power players are completely off the radar. The CEOs, the shareholders, the oligarchs, the people who have by far the most power over the conditions of everyday life for people in America and around the world, the people who have the most power over government policy, they're not even acknowledged as having that power. The real controllers of the society are completely obscured and unscrutinized and unaccountable, except to each other. That's the system.
What do you guys think? What do you guys think? The power of influence, the influence of power. Again, I see it transcend to everyday life. It seems to me, in my opinion, that everybody talks like a politician. Everyone has been influenced by American democracy, politicians, politics, debates. No one knows what anything means anymore. Everything's subjective. All the goalposts move. You learn that from politicians, watching debates and all of the nonsense that they do to avoid answering a question, being direct, maybe a hard conversation to have. But this is all influence, American, Western American influence.
It's all learned behavior.
In my opinion.
I can agree. Agree.
What do you guys think? I could be way off.
People have gotten really simple. I mean, we all went through the indoctrination system. You know, this is why I say I get upset with parents when they act like they don't know how the school goes, how the school system is, how it's set up, and to not prepare their children and get them ready for that. Like by any means necessary, you know what they're going to have to go through.
True
you know,
indeed.
so it's our job to make that transition. You know, it's 13 years. That's a lot. That's a lot of time for our children. Are they getting what they need from this place, from these institutions? Are they getting the positive influences that they need from the environment that we're thrusting them in? We got to consider that. And sometimes you got to uproot your goddamn family because shit just don't look right, feel right. It ain't acting right. All of that. You know, and it's hard. It's hard to do that. People want to stay stuck in places. They make excuses and, you know, and stay in the rut.
It's interesting. Interesting you say that.
So, and I come from that type of environment. I'm like, yeah, vow to not. We not, no. Got to make moves. Got to do better.
Bang. Glad you said that. It's a great lean-in. Let's share this screen.
Who are you to impose your rules on your child? And the answer is, well, I'm his parent. And you might say, well, what gives you that right? And the answer is, well, I took on the responsibility, and so there's rights that go along with that. And second, like, who else is going to do it? So what gives me that right? It's like, it isn't exactly my right, it's my responsibility, right? It's not like I want to put my child on the steps to gratify myself unless I'm, there's something seriously wrong. It's not pleasurable in and of itself. It's like, I don't want the kid to be a squalling, wretched reprobate that everyone hates.
Y'all know what that is? Y'all know what that is? I refer to them as those gutter snipes. That's those terrorists AR used to talk about when he was here. But people got really insensitive when he used to use words like bastard to talk about children who didn't know who their father was.
Or even saying that a child is bad. There's so many people that don't like that. No child is bad. No child is bad. I mean, well, if they come from some parents who had bad behaviors and the child picked up those behaviors, then your child is bad. Like, some kids are bad. Every kid don't have a damn disorder. And this is where we at. Goodness gracious. Mr. Peterson.
Debate that everyone hates. So, and if you remember your elementary school life and junior high school life, there were children who were very unpopular and who didn't know how to behave. And how about that isn't your kid? How about that? And so that's who you are to impose those rules. And you say, well, how do you know those are the right rules? And the answer is, that's bloody tricky, man. And that's partly why it's a good idea to be married, because if the two of you can agree on a rule, then there's some reasonable likelihood that it's an okay rule, because what's the probability that you're both crazy in exactly the same way?
What's the likelihood of that? And again, the influence is very important, has to be very conscious. And like he said, that's why it's kind of good to be married. That unified front, them seeing two people that agree on morals and values and goals, is very operative.
A team, that is important. When they see a struggle in a couple, because you do it right in front of them, so they're influenced by that, and they know how to manipulate and make it worse. So because we're not listening when they tell you to be nice to daddy. Daddy, be nice to mommy.
Right.
Hug mommy, daddy. Daddy, hug mommy. Mommy, hug daddy. You're not listening to that. So some of those things we might need to take heed to the children in certain situations, because they're watching.
Indeed.
And they don't like that shit. Either way, when you start to try to pin them against one another, training them up to love one parent more than the other. Oh, that's some kind of hard. That shit may backfire on you.
Shout out to Take Heed to the Messages in the building. Hey, love. Hope you had a great week. I got another fella that I want to talk about. He's not one of our three wise men, but he's an honorable mention. His name is Lex Friedman.
Lex.
You guys may be familiar with Lex when I bring him up.
Okay.
Relationships I've seen.
Amen.
That was Lex, my man Lex Friedman. But I wanted to ask a question to the viewers and to the missus. Is the influence important for that? Don't shit talk my partner around me. They need to be a positive, motivating force in your life. Can they be any kind of partner? And it's that unified front. You just don't talk about them around me. Or is it something different? What do you think?
I mean, I don't know. You have a bad partner and you're their cheerleader. That's on you. I like what he said. A good partner, where we share and experiences, growing together, all that, building together, able to cooperate and communicate effectively. Those things are important. Yeah, what was the question again?
It was about the influence.
Yes.
Is that influence, does it come from having a positive partner, having a motivating partner? Is every partner worthy of that defense, that unified front out in public? Again, I know a lot of people that say out in public, you got to put up, we together. But when we get home, I yell at you, scream at you. We can start fighting and all of that. But outside, we have to remain a certain level of unity.
That's I don't know about that. I don't know if that's effective. Because again, when you're in the house, like it's not affecting me or you by being that way. Like I don't.
Take heed is at work. Sheila is in the chat. Hey Sheila, hope you're doing well. Hope you had a great week. Y'all go and check out all of these amazing content creators that's in the chat. Bravo with Sheila Network. Take
Michelle
heed to the
in
message.
Building. Hey Mimi.
Hey Mimi. Hope all is well. Donique is in the building. Shout out to our sponsor, Donique Anthony. We appreciate you, brother. Always a pleasure. Have fun. Be safe. It's my last time looking at a 22-year-old. Tomorrow won't be 22 no more. I love you, baby. Have fun. Enjoy yourself. Can't wait to see you tomorrow so we can celebrate you.
You might still be up.
Yeah, you have a good night. All right, y'all have fun. Be safe.
Oh.
The kids is going to 40.
They going
to 40.
I know we
Shout
gonna be in
out
the
to
bushes
Donique.
like this.
Donique, I don't think we hit you for last time, but you know how we do.
No. We gotta go. We gotta go. We gotta go. Hey. We gotta go. We gotta go. We gotta go. Hey. We gotta go. We gotta go. We gotta go. Hey.
Shout out to Donique. We appreciate you, bro, for checking in. Quantum said, I don't shit talk my partner. Straight up. Appreciate you. Appreciate that. Why would they be comfortable talking crap about my girl to me or vice versa? Hashtag suspect. You'd be surprised.
Yeah, I mean, some people grow up with that. It's normal. This is why, the relationships are not changing. You grow up and you see these types of bad habits, and people still stay and say they love one another, and it's dysfunctional and they hurting each other constantly. But this is what children see as love. Like they grow up and they go out and behave this way, unless they consciously review themselves and self-reflect and say, yeah, no, that's not okay. And then they consciously move in that and not allow that. You know what I mean? That's the only way to break it. But it's continuing. It's just bad habits.
Absolutely. My guy checked in. He said Corinthians verse 6, chapter 14 instructs, do not be unequally yoked with unbelievers, with the scripture being read. The husband is as good as the wife, vice versa. Shit. Can't say I disagree with that.
And I hear more shit talking from the women. So, they're the ones that need to self-reflect on that. If your man ain't shit, your man is this and that, you're talking all that shit, what that make you? If he wasn't this, that, and all that, you was there for years and had a whole bunch of babies. I mean, what does that make you? You have to really think about that. I don't like to hear that. Point the finger at one person. You have to consider yourself for being dumb, making the damn decision, right? We so smart and easily led astray and manipulated.
Be wrong for that, baby.
Not in this day and age. There's too much information out there. Y'all done seen enough. You should know.
The power of influence. The influence of power.
I mean, in the influence.
What are they influenced by?
Love and hip hop type stuff, reality shows. It's nothing but cantankerousness, and men love it. The women love it. Like,
you fucked up, yeah.
That's where you mimicking that from. Your mama act like that.
The influence. What influences you out there? Bang, bang.
And to meet people and they say, my daddy used to beat my mom in the head like that. So you pick the nigga that's beating you in your head. I mean, how smart are you? Like, the first bop, it's over. Like, that's a done deal.
Wow.
We don't keep repeating those types of cycles. No, we're not doing that.
I ain't mad at that.
So we here, like it's too much exposure to everything over the last 20, 25 years. So all the excuses, yeah, y'all can miss me with that.
Okay.
Miss me. You chose bad.
You know what? Let's take a little bit of a break from the monotony and let's go ahead and let you guys know what we're talking about today. That is the power of influence, the influence of power. And what do you think this little lady was influenced by?
Don't hate the number. And the daddy time.
How do you understand? What?
Yeah, but that was a long time ago, Daddy. I need some like learning.
What y'all know about that?
Yes, baby. Love it, love it.
What y'all think she was influenced by?
Oh,
what y'all
man.
think she was influenced by?
Oh, Daddy, he's sitting right there.
And that music.
All that music, baby.
And all of that good music.
Yeah, ours was like that. We don't have video, but all of them. Music is absolutely something to build on with them. And to just now we was rocking before we came on, got the one in the kitchen singing right along with these songs that are like from the 50s and the 60s. So
She was cute. She was singing.
It's adorable.
She was singing like a
Just
tiny
the
old
passion
lady.
in those songs. Yeah.
I'm glad it's not Sexy Red songs. You are absolutely right. It's not.
When they grow up with that type of influence, it's hard for them to accept that type of crap. So
Indeed.
that's a plus.
Indeed.
Shoot.
Let's go ahead and keep leaning in with the power of influence, the influence of power.
Important for her to model to her children the fact that adults have important adult activities.
And that's Jordan Peterson. I'm gonna pull up another clip from him. I thought that was the one, but that wasn't the one I wanted to pull up. Let's pull up this one here.
Margaritas on a beach in Jamaica. That happens now and then. Those are exceptions. Your life is how your wife greets you at the door when you come home every day. Because that's like 10 minutes a day. Your life is how you treat each other over the breakfast table. Because that's an hour and a half or an hour every single day. You get those mundane things right, those things you do every day. You concentrate on them and you make them pristine. It's like you got 80% of your life put together. These little things that are right in front of us, they're not little. That's the first thing. They are not little, and they're hard to set right. And if you set them right, it has a rippling effect, and fast too.
What you think, Mrs.?
You set them right. It absolutely has a rippling effect. Again, we've been together 25 years. So there was always times of adjusting and growing. And sometimes there was conflict with that. But that mindset was always something that was good for me because I was quick to be ready to adjust. Like, I got to do some changes. Something's going on. We getting a little dry. We feeling a little talking, or things are just a little repetitive. So, you know, it was nothing for me to spark something, you know, just because I didn't want to stay in that. You know, not to say he didn't, but I'm just talking about me right now. Goddamn.
Absolutely.
So
I mean, and again, you know that this is how I think. Like Tuesday, Wednesday, it's the everyday, because that's gonna be more than not. It's way more Tuesdays and Wednesdays. Then it's gonna be anniversaries, and it's gonna be vacations, and it's gonna be birthdays and trips and cars and houses. It's gonna be way more Tuesdays and Wednesdays. So I'm always thinking about, again, those nuances, those every day, the monotony, how to break it, how to enhance it, how to make it feel like day one. Right. That's them very important, very influential, because it makes this feel like just a ride that we on. But it's, again, it's the influence that we present to each other, the positive, motivating force that we try to be to each other.
Right. And if I need that motivation, I absolutely turn to music. That's it. Let's do it. Get that music going. It's like, okay. It's never unlost. You know, we just get human.
I'm glad you said that. Let's go ahead and
human nature.
Lean right in.
Pay attention to self.
We have been encouraged culturally to criticize people we're in long-term relationships with. Not new relationships. New relationships, put the person on a pedestal. You're allowed to just, oh, they're wonderful. But every trope out there in every form of popular media is like the wife rolling her eyes at the husband, and the husband being like, oh, this loathsome harpy that castrated me. As if like people are just passive players in their lives.
Right. Passive
that part.
Players in your life.
Let's go ahead and
how
get
y'all play
to
spades. I don't want you to play with me.
Sis said, interesting. Yep, again, lot of big bad wolf in the building.
Hey, L.I.A.
Yeah.
Hey, L.I.A.
What's popping? He says, see. That's how that sounds. Whenever you see that, how it sounds, it has a sound. It's sees. What up, my guy? Hope all is well, man. Miss you, bro. The sun comes up in the east. Seems too mundane. But let it not happen one day. Or be late.
Okay, watch what happens. Y'all keep messing with the time. Okay, the farmers ain't having it. They said we ain't doing that over here.
I've been missing music lately. Yeah, you got to check us out on AMP. Yeah, check us out on AMP Quantum. We had a nice little session tonight. It was called "When Was the Last Time You Heard This?"
It was nice. You did the same, man. My baby, a good DJ. Good DJ.
We gotta hit that air. See the missus getting a little hot and bothered over here, y'all. I'm doing it to her. I think it's the smooth voice, I think. The live on the check-in, man. Our guy, man. VA's finest right there. Hope you're doing well, bro. Hope you take care of the little ones and the dog and the cars and all of the rest of that shit, because it's a lot to take care of. We treat people like they're just passing figures, temporary figures in our life. Talking to people like you have no confidence in them. Like he said, the American trope is, you know, the wife rolling her eyes at this Neanderthal of a man that she could hardly put up with, and him like, well, you know, I'm just here.
Yeah. And I'm so unhappy, but I stayed. That's the kind of idea women deliver when they think of, you know, marriage and the married life. And it's horrible because that's the influence of media. Media has a lot to do with it, especially if you didn't have that directly in your life. And you have people who think like that, who have seen their grandmothers and grandfathers together, seen their mother and father together. Absolutely. And you still think they was faking just because mommy was sad some goddamn times, like she would. I mean, it's amazing.
And unbelievable.
Yeah.
But
we've seen some horrible shit, and it still didn't deter us away from loving in abundance and looking for that partner to be intentional with.
And painting everybody with that brush and thinking that it's going to happen to you eventually. And down the road, just this pessimistic, like Dusto would say, this dust and crust, you know, doom and gloom is not something, again, we know it's out there. It's all a possibility of love. All's fair in love and war. So, of course, it's going to be some horrible shit that comes
But you
with
got
that.
to have, self-love. You got to have consciousness. You got to be aware. You got to have some values, some standards, like all of that. And you have to put that shit in play within the relationship. It can't be one-sided.
Indeed. Indeed.
This
Trigger Mike on the pull up. What up, Mike?
Hey,
Hope all is well, man. Good show you had
Trigger
today.
Mike.
We appreciate all the work you do out here, man. Appreciate the kind words, man, and always entertaining and informative shows that you have, man. So keep doing what you do over there, Lapeef. Y'all go check out Trigger Mike over on Lapeef.
Awesome shows.
Always putting out amazing content. Today, Mike, we talking about the power of influence, the influence of power. And right now, we focusing on relationships and how people treat others like they're just temporary, passing people in our life. And I think Brother Friedman is going to expound on it a little bit more. Let's see what he got to say.
As if like people are just passive players in their lives. And I think that is an incredibly toxic message to send to people, that this is how we should be relating to our partner. Like we should not, you don't take the piss out of your partner in front of people. Like the successful relationships I've seen are where people are just cheering for their partner, where they are thick as thieves, where there is just this feeling of like, man, they like each other. Like they got each other's back like you wouldn't believe. Like, man, you could take sides against anybody. But take sides against their partner, you're going down. Like, and that when you see a couple that has that, you just, that's so hard to break. But I think that comes from having like a steadfast, no, I don't do that. Like, I don't shit talk my partner. Like, and you don't shit talk my partner to me. And that to me is, because I think we're just so criticized by the world. The world is so full of criticism. We criticize ourselves so harshly that having a partner who, no matter what, is like, you've got this, I'm with you. Like, you screwed up. I see it. Look, I'm not going to lie to you about your blind spots. You screwed up. But you know what? People screw up sometimes. You got a right to screw up. A lot of people screw up. Come on, get up. Let's go. I know you have it in you. If you have that person like that, I feel like that's a superpower to have that effect on another person.
What do you guys think about that? What do you think about that, Mrs.? What y'all think in the chat?
Sheba. Nah, that it is a superpower. Man, it's always a blessing to have that type of person around you. Again, environment can influence a lot. Where you come from and how you choose, a partner in your life. And what I was thinking about when he was saying that was just like friendships. If I'm early on before relationships, if I have just girlfriend friendships and I have a friend and constantly talking about another friend and I'm sitting there and okay with it, but I like that friend and I don't speak up, it begins there.
Absolutely.
So, I wasn't that kind of person then. I'll be telling our children now, like, we didn't behave like that. We wasn't leaving our friends out, and if we stop hanging with one friend, now we're going to talk about that friend behind her back. Right. And we didn't do that, so we're just in a new space. And then you grow up and you take that into relationships. It's not like it's going to stop.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
You got to retrain yourself sometimes, and that's okay. But we in a society where everybody think they 100 and I'm the shit and I'm the best, and I don't have to change, and this is where we are. Your ass need to change a little bit.
World Class checked in. He said, I don't like the partner word, but he on it. Okay. Hell yeah. Push each other to be their best, knowing that they will call you out on your BS and vice versa. I mean, I'm with y'all.
Yeah, one of the things I love seeing, when you look at a couple and one is talking, like in an interview, answering a question, especially like intellectual questions, like what do you think about the war in Ukraine or something, and then the partner is talking and then the other person is looking at them as if they're hearing the wisest thing ever. Like they're still looking at them, not waiting for their turn to speak, not thinking about how's the audience going to take that, but they're looking at them like, God damn, I'm so lucky to be with this smart motherfucker.
Isn't that, but there's a scene.
And they could be saying the dummest shit ever.
There's a scene in the movie True Romance.
Yes,
I love the movie. Great movie. I mean, that Gary Oldman scene is like the greatest scene ever done in film, you know, with Christian Slater and he. But there's a scene in it where she holds up a sign to Christian Slater and it says, "You're so cool."
You're so cool. Yeah.
And I like, man, like that's it.
Yeah.
That's it. Like I think I say it somewhere in the book that, you know, you go to weddings and like when the bride walks in, you know, everybody's looking at the bride. It's her show. You know, everybody turns around. It's the first glimpse everybody gets of the bride. And I never look at the bride. I always look at the groom looking at the bride. Because there's this, like, to me, that's like he has this look like this, because this is the first time he's seeing her in the dress most of the time. And also he's seeing her like, holy shit, she's coming down the aisle. We're getting married. Like, but this is it. And everyone's looking at her. And I always look at him because I always think to myself, like the look on his face is like, that's like this feeling of like, holy, yeah, wow. Okay. Like that's, everyone's looking at her and she's mine and she's coming up here and we're getting married. And I feel like, yeah, like that kind of adoration, like, I think that's the look we're describing is like adoration, like that the words coming out of their mouth, that they're like, yeah, that's mine. That one's mine. You know, that's such a great thing.
What do you guys think? What do you guys think? Again, the power of influence, man. And again, knowing that this woman is your inspiration. This is what you're going to be working for. This is what you are going to create a family with. You see her for the first time as this person. This breathtaking person. And it's definitely a moment, but again, like he said, to zero in, not a lot of people zero in on the groom. Right. They so busy giving all the attention to the wife. But it is, you know, the way he looks at her that first time, seeing his wife about to come down the aisle, his responsibility, his significant other, his better half, however you want to word it. But for the first time, he's seeing a muse, his inspiration, in my opinion. Right. And I think that's that, you know, captivating moment that comes over. What do you think about what he said?
I mean, yeah, I agree. And you spoke very well saying that. Biggest cheerleader.
Appreciate that.
Yeah.
Okay.
I agree. I can't even add to it. Like,
okay.
Jeez.
So we talking about going down the aisle. Let's see if we can get down the aisle first. Let's talk about the men's. What about the men's?
Moving on. First, before I talk about the rights and responsibilities, I want to talk about 4 things a wife loves in her husband and 4 things a husband loves in a wife. I think there's more, but I'm just going to say these 4. If you can do them,
So why people act like it's so hard to figure this stuff out? Why they gotta have 2.5 years worth of some stuff that it sounds like he's about to sum it right up for us, real simple, like
some basics.
That's what it sounds like.
Right. No, they gotta come all intact in every way, shape, or form. You know, financially secure, just you know, everything.
Okay. Isaiah, what's good, my guy?
100%, all the way around. 100%.
Sis said, what about the men's? What about the men's? 4 things right here.
MashaAllah, you'll have a beautiful life, enjoyable one with your spouse in every way, inshallah. So 4 things a wife loves in her husband. These are not from me. I've done lots of research in this area, long years, from experts and Muslim judges who talked about it. This is decades of research. I'm just summarizing for you, you know, putting it on a plate for you, inshallah. Number 1, the 4 things a wife loves in her husband. They said she loves when he defends her, protects her, and supports her. A wife loves to see that in her husband. Even if she doesn't admit it, she likes it. A husband who defends her, protects her, and supports her. Number 2, he listens to her, listens to when Listens to her, meaning that doesn't mean he has to obey everything. Listens. As in when she says, he listens. He listens to her emotions, he listens to her words, he listens to her, and he's patient with listening, and he talks to her. So yeah, honey brothers, when your wife is listening, when you're listening to your wife, throw in another word whenever you get a break to show her that you have been listening. Wallahi, think about yourself. When somebody listens to what you're saying and then they say, so this is what you said, you feel special. That they actually gave value to your words. Even if they disagree, they gave value to your words. Think about that. Number 3, she loves the husband to be tender, to give her tender physical touches. Yeah, and you like this. Little hug, kiss on the forehead, tender physical. Men, did you hear what I said? Don't think too far. You got to go tender physical touches and be gentle as a general thing. Number 4, he compliments her and shows her interest. He compliments her and shows her that he's interested in her. The newness goes away after 6 months, 1 year. You guys are going to get a little bit bored of that. No, you got to keep going, inshallah. Renew it. Try other ways. Number 5, makes her feel secure and safe that he will not leave her and look for another woman. This is the biggest fear women have, Muslim and non-Muslim, that their husband's going to betray them. And I think that's the reason, which is wrong, why some women think that they tell each other this. I've heard it. I know the insides and outs of these things. We hear stuff. And they say to each other, hey, don't show him that you love him too much, because he'll leave you. These men, they'll look other way, but keep them on edge. This is wrong, brothers and sisters.
What y'all think? What y'all think?
That was some great points.
Let's see.
Mm-hmm.
L.I.A said he has some key points. Sarah said, duh. Lady Navoa said, yes. Sarah said, is he serious? L.I.A said, facts. Okay. Lady Navoa said, L.I.A, big bad wolf. Long name. Cool. It is. He is big bad wolf. What'd you think? Listen, respect, soft touches.
I mean, he touched on a lot of key points. I mean, the new modern women be like, he got to have 6 figures. You know, I don't, child. Listen. Okay. But I thought those were great. And if people, because I can't just say if a man is being consistent in that way, you know, hopefully it would make the woman be consistent in that way. But both parties, if you are choosing to share life with someone, you have to, you know, be influenced to do those things specifically. And if, you know, if there's more, you need to discuss that. It needs to be communicated with you and your partner.
Sarah said that was basic. Okay.
I mean,
Lady Navoa said made sense.
that was a lot of good basic. That's
Let's see. What about
stuff.
what about the women's? What about the women's?
Loves in his wife. Number 1 on top of the list. There is nothing more important than this. Number 1, sisters. Respect. Now you might say, but what about me? I need respect too. Yes. The respect we're talking about with the man is a little bit different. It's a little bit stronger. It's a little bit more serious. What are we talking about respect here? Respect his leadership. Respect that he's your protector. Respect that he's your provider. The duty which Allah gave him, that 1 extra degree. Respect that. Don't put him down. Don't say, look at your brother. Look at those other guys. They buy this and that for their wives. You're nothing. You're a stingy person, among other words. You're a lazy, fat, obnoxious, blah, blah, blah. You never. Ya akhti, really, never? Come on. At least 1 out of 1,000. Never? Always? You always? Never, always. Take it easy. At the same time, men, just let it go. Don't hold on to those words. That's how women, they like to express. That's fine. But sister, respect. Respect his, the fact that he is the leader of the house, the protector, and the maintainer. I think sisters understand this in their nature. Number 2, the man likes his wife to look good for him. He likes his wife to look good for him. This creates a bond in your relationship. The biggest thing a man hates is when a wife looks bad for him at home and looks good for everyone else outside. She looks amazing outside. And then he starts thinking, the shaitan comes to him, sisters, and he says to the man, look at her, she's not really there for you. What did you get married for? When she's outside, everyone enjoys the way she looks. When she's inside, you don't get to enjoy the way she looks. And that's when he starts looking elsewhere. So this is Ibn Abbas radiallahu anhu. He used to say, when people visited him, he would open the door and he would look really nice, better than outside. And they said to him, why do you do that, Ibn Abbas? He says, إني أحب أن أتزين لزوجتي كما تتزين لي. I like to look good for my wife as she looks good for me. So that's very important. Number 4, shows confidence in him and his abilities. So the sister appreciates his efforts, she appreciates his help, she appreciates his tiredness. I said this last time, that randomly say to your husband, just out of the blue, once every week, once every 2 weeks, once every 3 weeks, once every month, I appreciate your effort, wallah, I couldn't do it without you. Subhanallah, the stuff that you're doing, say it. He's your husband, say it. Wallahi, you will pump him up and make him amazing. Your words go a long way. Don't get stingy with words. He's your husband. For a man, it means a lot. I'm telling you, it means a lot. Number 4, she speaks well of him to her family and his family. She doesn't go to her mum and dad and says, man, he's a this and he's a that, and complains night and day. No. You will make your life hell. Not from him, from your family. Every time you get along with your husband, you go back, what? He doesn't deserve it. And your sisters play a role, your brothers play a role, your father and mother play, your cousins play a role. Suddenly everybody's involved in your life. Why? Because you let it out. You went and told them. Same with the husbands. And lastly, physical touches. Men love physical touches from their wife.
Yes.
What do you guys think? Shout out to my guy. Appreciate that information.
Listen. Y'all better praise your mans. I mean, now, when you're speaking in wife and husband, absolutely. Like, you've chosen each other. You already sealed the deal. There's no going back. Like, you should want to spruce yourself up. But we've grown up in this society with influences of, everything's it's just drawn out, and, I don't want to do it, and it's too much work. I had such just no care and consideration for the man, and it's been acceptable until he steps out. So he looks somewhere else. It's like, and that's something that you have to be intentional so that doesn't happen. You got to get it to a point where a woman will, excuse me, ma'am, back the hell up out my face. You see, I'm married. Roll. And some men are like that. So
indeed.
Listen, you can be that type of influence for your husband. Now, if you sit on that couch and you raise them children from that couch and you don't do shit, I mean, you're going to get what you deserve. And it's pretty much nothing. Like, you got to take care of home, kids, and husband.
Quantum praises.
No excuse.
Absolutely, sis. Absolutely.
Might as well be by your damn self if you don't want to take care of nothing. Not even yourself.
Talking stuff. It's on point. Okay, absolutely. I just thought we should be doing this. That's why I said that. Oh, absolutely, Sarah. We know you are cut from a different cloth. So, see-through lace at the door. See-through lace at the door, sir. Oh, why not? Sure. It will reflect positively on your review.
Meeting every Wednesday, we have lunch. We do quarterly reset retreats where we disconnect, we plan, we review our goals, we update our vision boards, we talk about our challenges, who do we need to become, how do we want to show up as parents. It's how we've been able to evolve as a couple. I took the fundamentals of success in business, the rhythms, the routines, the values, the conversations, all that, and applied it to my home life. People that get divorced is because they have a fracture and it gets too wide. So because I sit down with my wife every week, and one of the questions we ask each other is, how have I shown up as a husband for you? I have the feedback, so I have a shot to make it better. If you call that clinical or too structured, where else are you getting feedback? Well, I just know she's happy. Ask her.
Yep.
What say you?
Yeah, I mean, I'd go in and say a lot. I don't want to get too hard on ladies, but we get in this fantasy land, this Disney World type of idea. When you gentlemen don't fulfill it without us expressing these ideas, y'all are in fault. Y'all are in the blame. You're not romantic enough. You're not passionate enough. You're not, bitch. You ain't doing nothing. What are you doing?
Oh,
why you ain't being passionate? Why you ain't doing it?
Damn.
And I think it's always pointed out, like it seems like things are just one-sided.
Wow.
And women be starving. They want to be sexually liberated and all this stuff. Well, do that shit with your husband. That's the one person you need to be doing all of that with. You can be as expressive and open and vulnerable as you want and desire. But when you sit around and you expect them to do all the initiating, all of this and all of that, like that's a lot. Because I don't hear women say it. Y'all pretty much kind of prudes. I won't initiate with no man. It's hard to be rejected too. Women don't like that. We don't like that. Think they just supposed to do stuff. But you gotta do a little work sometimes, y'all. I'm just saying.
A man with a
That's my
plan
opinion.
from business to the house. Love it. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm. I mean, that's his influence. We got those lessons. Like, well, shit, I can actually incorporate some of this into. Yeah, women should do that. They go to work, they follow rules, they listen to their managers or the head nigger in charge or whoever, and then they come home and they can't do that with their husband.
Damn.
That's amazing to me. You got to be able to take some constructive criticism because you are not perfect. And the things that you do and how you behave and how you act and how your emotions fluctuate, it affects me. And a man needs to be able to express that and say that without you feeling threatened or beat up on,
or emotionally abused.
All of that, because there's a mindset that men are not emotional. They're not allowed to express themselves in that kind of way, saying, I need you to do something more for me. Like, you have to be considerate of that and don't get stuck on Click. If you ain't see that movie with Adam Sandler, watch it. Click. Relationships are like that. Time goes fast. This is why it seems so fresh and new, because we stayed intentional, and tried to remain in a conscious realm to get here to be friends. We are absolutely husband and wife. There is a role set, but we made it to a point where we're friends. Like, we're cool.
Absolutely.
He can complain and I won't be offended and ready to fight,
Right.
and the same with him.
I just tell her like this right here.
Boys don't eat that.
Why?
Boys don't eat. I don't eat noodles. I'm a grown man.
Just like that.
It's true. Yeah.
Sometimes you just gotta put it out there like that.
Don't do that. I love that.
Yeah, you can't just, can't just give you anything, fellas. So just in case you forgot, tell her.
Boys don't eat that.
Why?
Boys don't eat. I don't eat noodles. I'm a grown man.
Yeah.
That part right there.
You have some women get so offended, you say the dinner wasn't good or something, they don't want to cook for 3 weeks. It's like, oh, that nigga said the food wasn't good, I'll show his ass. I ain't cooking for a month. Like, really? We can't get into marriages and be spiteful like that. No. If you want to do some type of tit for tat, do it in a positive way, in a good way.
Indeed.
Competing that way. Goodness gracious.
Okay. Let's lean right in. We don't got much more, but the power of influence, man, the influence of power is packed in these videos, man. Just what influences us, very important. What we choose to allow to be influential in our lives, very important. And it shows. It absolutely shows. Let's take a look at this video, because when she walks down the aisle and she's so beautiful and you guys are having weekly check-ins and everything's going smooth, but then things change.
Oh, it does.
Marriage, from a legal standpoint, what we mean when we say I got married, is a state agency. It's been created by the state. Like, this is a legal status that most people who are in it know nothing about. They
Wait, what?
Yeah.
How you get in it and you don't even
Right.
know what it's about? Person.
It's the state.
They got in it and don't know what it's
Lord,
about.
you need- Government. It said you got to do it.
How they get in it and don't?
They just did the most legally significant thing they're ever going to do other than dying. And they have no idea what rights and obligations it created in them.
The most important thing you could do besides dying is get married.
Oh.
And you don't even know.
And the first time they're going to get an education about it is in my office. That's crazy.
When they get divorced.
That's crazy.
Most people don't even know what marriage consists of. And the first lesson they
really get
is in the divorce office. The power of influence. Because we get influenced to get married.
Right.
Everyone is influencing people to get married. Us over here, we only influencing people who want to be married to get married.
I mean, and then when they do this whole elaborate thing, you know, that's a lot of money and people and audience, and that's a lot. It takes a toll. I would think it takes a toll on a marriage before the marriage even happens.
Oh, it absolutely takes a toll.
Gracious.
We can't even get the seating arrangement right because Uncle Leroy don't sit next to Auntie Felicia. They don't even.
They ain't spoken to me.
We have to have more concentration on the seating arrangement than what marriage requires.
Right. And the rules and the responsibilities.
The most important
the intricate part.
Besides
because we think it's just set in stone because we done set a certain type of behavior, of habits that we created. But once the marriage starts and the growth and development starts to build in with two different people for years, it changes. Still duty, honor, and responsibility, but the little intricacies, man, you're gonna have to keep updating with each other. It's like you're gonna have to keep re-downloading. You're gonna have to download. Did you restart
there you go
the computer and update the firewalls and the goddamn you gotta do them updates. If you gotta wake up at 2 a.m. and press that button, you gotta update.
Talk about it.
Shoot.
And so prenup is an opportunity to learn something about it at the start.
So first of all, whenever someone approaches me about prenups, and that's like 4 or 5 times a week, probably.
Okay.
Depending on the season. Right before wedding season, we get a lot.
When's wedding season?
Well, it used to just be the summer. You know, they say when you marry in June, you're a bride all your life. That's from some Rodgers and Hammerstein musical.
Oh, easily influenced, huh?
The power of influence. The influence of power. So what the hell do people get married in June for? Oh, man, some Rodgers and Hammerstein. Rodgers and Hammerstein is why y'all all get married in June? What the fuck is wrong with y'all?
I just thought it was the weather. Like y'all influence. So if you say a June bride, will be a bride forever. That's the thing. Oh. Okay.
Why y'all get married in June and May? And because all of the places are booked up in June, so we got to get May or we got to get July
gotta book it ahead of time.
Why? Rodgers and Hammerstein?
We pay so much attention to the small intricacies of the wedding, but we don't do that for the marriage. You're not thinking about all of those small intricacies that's gonna happen and transpire.
And you know why?
Years.
Because Rodgers and Hammerstein didn't tell you to do it.
Oh shit.
The power of influence. Y'all wrong for that, baby.
You know, they say when you marry in June, you're a bride all your life. That's from some Rodgers and Hammerstein musical. Now the fall is very big too. People love fall content, fall weddings, pretty, pictures and things.
Content. Yeah, it's good on the gram.
Fall content.
All right. That's a hashtag.
Weddings is for the gram. I don't know.
Weddings is for the gram. They laughing.
Yeah, I think I always, that's an idea. This old fairy tale wedding. And when I see it, even, it's still just like, where do we get this programming from?
From Rogers and Hammerstein. Just told you.
I just wanted to do it.
She said.
Like, oh, goodness gracious.
Rogers and fucking, I'm never gonna forget that shit right there. That shit is crazy. Y'all have no idea who Rogers. Oh my goodness. And they learn at the end. Yes, sis, they do. She said, laugh out loud. What?
If I would have known it was gonna be like this, I would have been. You was there for 20 years. Wait a minute.
It's for a show. I just want a huge party. That's it. That's right. That's right. Come through, have some drinks.
A huge party.
Marketing. Same way they suckered us into believing diamonds are a girl's best friend. Welcome, man. We appreciate you joining us. Just do it. That's right. More invested in the wedding than the marriage. Save your money and build your future. With them $1 million weddings and them dollar store marriages.
Wow. It's a lot of attention.
And they laugh.
For one day.
Look at them. He's cracking up right now.
I'm like, it was so glamorous and you were so infatuated. Like, when does that stop? When you start to what? When does it?
I have to tell you, weddings is performative, man. See, the problem is, though, it's curated. So it's here's us picking the cake. It's not here's us doing the prenup. You know how many people I've done prenups for that I've watched on their social media or them being interviewed by Andy Cohen on Bravo and saying, well, no, we don't have a prenup. Yeah, you do. Yeah, you do. You do. It's in my office. It's in a folder.
Yeah.
Liars.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. What are they doing?
Lying. Prenup.
No, that's beautiful.
But prenups are not published anyplace. They're not filed with a court. They're maintained by the two people that signed it and their lawyers. That's it. So nobody has to admit that they have a prenup.
Beautiful.
But there's a certain problem with that insofar as a lot of people have prenups.
So you don't have to admit you have a prenup because there's no way anybody would ever find out if you have one anyway.
Right, because it's between the both of us.
Because it's between private parties.
And we need to normalize prenups. Like, there's no reason not to normalize prenups. There's no reason not for until some famous people say, yeah, we have a prenup. We're crazy about each other. That's why we're getting married, But yeah, look, we're getting, I don't want to get a car accident, but I got a seatbelt. Like, you have it just in case.
And what do you do if you're running a company? Like, what does that have to do with a prenup? You're running a $100 billion or $1 trillion company, Jeff Bezos. I suppose his marriage was before Amazon.
Yeah, his was before it was anything.
But like, how does that work in a prenup? Like,
well, no, actually, it's the same. I mean, what you're doing with a prenup is you're identifying how things will be classified in advance. So you're creating a set of rules, and then you both can function under those rules during the marriage. So like for a brief time, I taught a family law drafting class at a law school.
Y'all got y'all seatbelt on? Okay. Keep your seatbelt on.
And when we would do separation agreements and we would do pleadings, it was lots of fun. When we would do prenups, I would say to the students, what's the main thing you need when you're doing a prenup? And they would say, well, you need asset disclosure. And I'd say, well, that's not the main thing. And they'd say, well, you need, technical language. I said, nope. Main thing you need is a crystal ball.
You get that? Got to be able to tell the future. So make sure you get you a crystal ball. The power of influence and the influence of power, so many people will advise to protect yourself with a prenup. I wouldn't disagree, but understand it's just a precaution, like a seatbelt.
I mean, and it sounds like you're sitting down to set rules. within the marriage. Like,
what type of an influence is that? Is that a positive influence on our union?
It depends if there's expectations that wasn't spoken of and need to be addressed before we get married. Like, you know, and to put it in writing, I don't see anything wrong with that now. And it starts to dwindle into the money aspect. Every prenup may not have anything to do with money. It's about treatment. How are you going to treat me? How we're going to act when we're in public? How, you know, you are on the news media when you're talking. Don't discuss our business. Like, there's ways to behave, and you don't know that if you don't fucking discuss it. Because our marriage is not, it's unique. It's not like the person next door. It's not like my mother's and my father's. It's not like my brothers and my sisters. That's how it's supposed to be. We have to make the rules within. And it may need to be readjusted at times. Things change, shit changes. You have to be adaptable.
I hear you. Look like AI Little Live checked in. He said, that's wow. I don't mind a well-written prenup. Okay.
I mean, but he's right. If the stars start admitting, you know, that this is something that they have, you know, even if y'all two couples sit down and write your own prenup with each other, you don't have to have a lawyer write it down and say, these are some of the things that I may expect in future. Like, let's talk about the freaking future. Y'all just going in willy-nilly with no crystal ball, not being intentional, you know, I just want to prepare just in case we get a divorce. Are you serious? You're not being intentional.
The main thing you need is the ability to see what's going to happen in the future. Who's going to have money, who's not, who's going to be successful, who isn't, what people will inherit. Problem is, we don't have that. We don't have that. So what can we do? We can create tranches. We can create structures. We can create systems. And then people can live with those in mind. You enter the game knowing the rules, right? So you know if this is going to be a submission-only event. You know if this is going to be no time limit. You know if we're after a certain number of minutes, we're going into points now, okay? So I can work with that rule set, and I'm going to amend my game based on that rule set. Same thing. You're just going to say, look, what's the rule set? Let's agree on the rule set, and then let's conduct ourselves with the rule set in mind. Let's plan with the rule set in mind. And I think that, you know, and by the way, and if you're going to cheat, you cheat with the rule set in mind. You know you're cheating, right? You know you're trying to get around the rule set. So prenups are, when I do a consult for a prenup, the first thing I do is, here's what's going to happen legally if you marry without a prenup. Here's what happens to your rights and obligations. Then what we can change with that, there's almost no limit. You can amend anything you want to. The example I always give is there was a case that went up to the appellate court where a high net worth guy married a very beautiful woman. And there was a provision in the prenuptial agreement that said for every 10 pounds she gained during the marriage, she would lose $10,000 a month in alimony if they divorced.
Ciao.
Okay.
What y'all think?
Wow. That would have to keep her on her toes, huh?
Those are specific provisions and requirements and expectations set in place.
So the conscious is her being conscious of her health and her weight was very important in that prenup.
Absolutely.
Right. She signed it. And that's signing on. That's signing on to a man's mission before you even get married. Like, you need to know what's in store. You need to find that out. Them conversations need to be had. You can't just go on a whim. The what ifs.
Let it be your motivation. Damn.
Watching a man in his challenging times is something, you know, before you get married. Like, to never see your man mad or upset or, you know, in the down in the dumps or any of that. It's a bit unique. You might want to see him in that type of essence to know if it's something that you will be able to inspire, motivate him out of, you know, help in any kind of way, or something you're going to be fucking scared of. And I got to run. This nigga crazy. Got to be conscious of self.
Sarah checked in. She said, more invested in the wedding than the marriage. Save your money and build your future.
Please. Let it be a motivation.
And here's her baseline weight. as of the time of execution of this agreement. And I wondered if she was did what a wrestler does. Like, did she did she bulk up right before and then cut when she eventually got divorced? Like, is she in their sauna, with the suit on? But the appellate court essentially said, I don't know why you married this person, having had them make you sign this, but it's binding.
Yeah.
But it's binding.
Oh, so they scrutinized her for signing that agreement as far as the weight.
I wouldn't say they
capacity.
scrutinized it. They just pointed out to her that if you married him, what kind of standards do you got? That somebody can put this type of requirement, like you're an animal, or every pound you lose, every 10 pounds, you sign that?
Right. I mean, because you don't have a crystal ball, and not being aware of health issues or ailments, like some things can be, weight can come on because of those things. Wow.
It's binding.
It's binding.
Somebody would do a contract like that, like the rent for this place would be more expensive if I was fatter and cheaper if I was skinnier, and that way I would have to weigh in.
Weigh in on it.
Motivation,
like some motivation on you.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Motivation.
Oh man.
Motivation, they say. Influence. I call it influence. The power of influence. The influence of power is what we're talking about tonight. What do you guys think so far? We're not going to be here much longer. I'm going to drop the link if anybody want to come up. If we got anything wrong, if anybody got any comments, critiques, criticisms, smoke.
I got a comment. This society is more influenced to eat than to educate. Eat.
Well, damn.
So they make too many excuses. You don't realize.
Well, I just dropped the link. If anybody want to come through, we're going to be here for a little bit. We're going to continue the conversation in a second, but y'all know what I got to do. Keep your eyes on the prize. Keep your eyes on her, man. She's going to be a star.
That's right.
She got some presence. She got some stage presence. You hear me?
Influencing her with that music.
She got some stage presence. I think the prenup conversation is a great look into someone based on what they are requesting and how they respond to your negotiations. Absolutely. Absolutely. Janet Jackson had a wild clause in her last marriage. She got like $50 million for staying with dude for some time.
Damn.
Catch y'all on the next one. Got to get back to work.
Peace.
Dope show. We appreciate you checking in,
up.
man. Anytime. Come back anytime. Mr. Harris is in the building. Drelly, what's
up? Hey, how y'all doing? Thank you for having me. How y'all doing? Can you hear me?
Doing well. Doing well. You sound good. Sound good, man. How's your night going?
Pretty good so far. Pretty good. I'm enjoying the content as usual.
Appreciate you, man. The power of influence, the influence of power. What say you so far, man?
So far, so good. Especially when you played Shaheed Bosen. That dude is on fire. He has nothing but bullseyes when he speaks, man. You know, like I don't think he knows how right he is. You know, and people don't, people don't believe me when I tell people. I'm like, listen, you'd be amazed at just how much of your life is engineered. You would not believe. You'd be amazed at how much of your life has been actually engineered to go the way that it does. The decisions we make, it's crazy. But the power of influence is extremely important.
Indeed.
Extremely important. You know what I mean? And a lot of people do it. You know, some people. It's fake when people try to influence someone else. You got to let it happen naturally, though. You know what I'm saying?
Indeed.
Because if you notice, like you'll be behaving a certain way, and then you might influence someone to you like basketball. You might influence someone to play basketball. You don't even know it. There's some kid in the bleachers watching you play. You might have been his inspiration, his influence to do it. You don't know. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
That's why I think it's important that we carry ourselves a certain way, no matter where we go. And the best way to carry yourself in a certain way is to just be a better person. Why fuck around with it? Just don't be that way sometimes. Just be a better person. You know what I'm saying?
People don't know how.
Right. You guys see me on these panels, man. I mean, it's just like lately, I'm just like, no, just be better. Be better. Well, what? Here come the excuses.
Here it comes.
You know what I'm saying? Here come the excuses. One of them got pissed off me today and dropped me off a panel.
We have suggestions. You've been cooking. I'm pretty sure they don't want you to keep cooking the way you've been cooking. So you keep doing what you're doing, man. We hear you, man, with the Dykes and whoever else you want to say.
Exactly.
Say whatever you want. We don't give it, man. Please.
Appreciate
Check this
it,
out.
man.
Just for you, sir.
But Islam is quite patriarchal, isn't it? I mean, doesn't the Quran say that men have authority over women?
Well, don't they? I mean, men are the ones who have been oppressing you all this time, right? I mean, according to your own narrative, men have been running the show. The feminists are asking for their so-called rights from who exactly? Look, if you didn't have what you call patriarchy, then what you would have is a hell on earth for women. Because clearly, women do not have the power to coerce men, to force men, to make men deal with them this way or that way. If you're out somewhere and a man starts to chat you up and you don't want to be chatted up, what do? You tell him, I have a boyfriend, I'm married, and he goes away. You have to conjure up an imaginary man to get him to back off, because 9 times out of 10, only a man can keep another man in check.
Boom. You can't argue with it. You can't argue with it. You can't argue with it. What? How many women walk around with fake wedding rings on? They're not married, but they're with the rings just to keep guys from approaching them.
Mm-hmm.
That implies that you're married to a man. There's a man in your life.
Mm-hmm.
He's right. Like I said, you can't argue with it.
All right. I mean, but for argument's sake, most of them would be like, men don't care what they say about that ring. Most of them be like, ha ha ha. No, I mean, I don't know what you're dealing with. We've been together a long time. They eye the ring. I don't even have to say much of anything. For you to question me and have to throw it in your face and be like, I'm married, and you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it'd just be a lot of over exaggerating. Like y'all just getting hit on all the fucking time.
They are.
Cap, I don't believe it. Somebody saying hello to you or giving you, letting you pass or something does not mean they want you. They're not trying to date you.
Why the fuck you lying?
He probably was telling you pick up your fucking wallet. You dropped your wallet.
Damn.
It's too many instances. We do, damn, they want me. Why they want me so much and I look like this, You see all that shit. Like, what?
L.I.A checked in. I think he's talking about the last segment. He said you have to have a sense of direction in life, knowing what you want and stay grounded while pursuing it. Absolutely, sir. And Quantum said, I buy a few rings a year for y'all fools. Back up off my systems.
I got him in. What's your man got to do with me?
Yeah, that stuff. Now that's when you're taking it too far.
Because men are in.
I'm sorry. Go ahead, Mr. Harris.
That's when they take it too far. When a woman says, "Yeah, I got a man," you're like, "What you man got to do with me?" Okay, listen.
Here we go. Yeah,
See,
here we go.
Here we go. Now I got to get active. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not above knocking you out in Walmart. I'm not.
Yeah.
I will steal you. Mess with my lady. I will steal you real quick.
Real quick.
You know what I'm saying?
Real quick.
Let's see what he got.
Man can keep another man in check, because men are inherently more dangerous than women. Instead of patriarchy, replace that word with bodyguard. What makes more sense? For you to be my bodyguard or for me to be your bodyguard? Who do you think?
Is that okay? You think they would accept that, Mandrell? Let's replace the word with bodyguard.
No, they won't. Some of them might, but most of them no.
Damn.
They ain't watch Whitney Houston, The Bodyguard. Wait, what's wrong?
Damn. He said no, they won't.
What makes more sense? For you to be my bodyguard or for me to be your bodyguard? Who do you think is more capable of protecting who? From who? If men didn't protect women, who would? Why, men would do whatever they wanted. And isn't your bodyguard responsible for you? Shouldn't you listen to him if he says, for example, don't go here, don't go there, or let's take this route instead of that route because it's safer? Isn't that authority? But he's doing it for you. Would you feel resentment about that authority? That's irrational. Look, you cannot dismiss the importance of physicality, human physicality. We're physical beings. Technology does not level the field the way you think it does. Let's say you have a business meeting and you have the meeting in a coffee shop. And while you're there, during the meeting, it gets late. It gets very late. And then the meeting is over. Your phone battery is dead. The coffee shop is closed. The client has left. And you came by Uber. Now you're alone in the dark with no way home. If it's me, I'll just walk home. If it's you, you would have been getting nervous and worried throughout the entire meeting, the later it got, worrying about how you're going to get home.
It's because they know they're vulnerable. This is what I don't understand about these conversations that women have. Like, there's a chick, PH Diva. She's over on Jay Prince channel, right? This woman obviously hates men and can't stand black men, obviously. Now, to be fair, I've never heard her say that. Listen to the things she says and watching the way she behaves. This chick can't stand black men. Nothing good to say about them at all. Okay, but she sits there and fronts like she's a nice person. She's not. And she's the type of person who would put herself in a bad situation and complain that no one came to help her. After all the trash talk, even if a black guy came and helped her out, she still talks shit about that same black man who helped her. But then you got more black women out here talking this kind of nonsense and listening to that kind of rhetoric and complain about black men. Why don't you protect us? Well, why would we? You flat out told us you don't want us to. And we would try to do so anyway. You call the cops. You do something to get us in trouble. Well, I got a life to live too. And I don't want to spend it behind bars. So I will leave it to you to protect yourself. If that's what you want, go buy a gun. You say you can. Oh, but you don't know how to use it. So what good is it? What is it going to do to make it personal? What's your gun in your hand, lady, going to do against a guy like me? I'm not afraid of your gun. I know what I'm doing. What are you going to do against a guy who doesn't care about dying? Who's not afraid of pain, rejection, hurt, not afraid to die to get what he wants? What are you going to do against that? But no one thinks of this. Well, how often is it that you get robbed? You really want to roll the dice here? That's irrational. Just like my man said, that's irrational.
Indeed.
So clearly you need a man in your life because you can't think. So you need one to think for you.
Bang, bang.
You're not going to be worried about being assaulted by a gang of women. And if you were walking in the street by yourself late at night and you see a man coming towards you, which one of the two of you is more likely to be afraid? Who's going to be scared of who? But see, you in the West have confused this. The feminists have confused this. The red pillars have confused this power imbalance with superiority. We don't do that because we don't attach that kind of value to it. It just is what it is. The power imbalance. There you go. That literal physical power imbalance. That imbalance in the ability to coerce and exert force and to be violent is just a fact and a reality of the power imbalance between men and women. But your culture is in love with power. It's in love with force. It's in love with violence. So to you, whoever has the greater capacity for violence, whoever has the greater capacity for being dangerous, then that person is better.
See the power of influence with us?
Mm-hmm. It's not about gender no more. Who's more willing and ready to fight?
So maybe this is like, I allude to, maybe this is why they're so big. Maybe it's self-preservation is the first rule of nature, and maybe they're so big to protect themselves.
But that's worse. You're slow and you got no stamina.
They don't know that. Again, they don't know that.
You're just healthy. I mean, you're just heavy and unhealthy.
They're not. They don't know
Yeah,
that.
it doesn't equate to muscle.
No, it doesn't.
It doesn't understand
And
being
strength
light on
and
your
speed
feet
and stamina.
yeah.
You're out of breath after 3 punches. Stop.
But again, just like he's saying, being able to protect yourself, being able to withstand the elements of the nature. Look at where we are today. Is it coincidence that men and women are in this battle against each other, and women and men are the same size as each other? Because it wasn't always like this. We weren't always at each other's throats, and the women were 5'6" and 130, 140 pounds, and everything was okay. But now everybody's at each other's throats, and the women are 260, the men are 280, and everybody's smoking hookahs all night.
You don't think none of that shit you ingesting is messing with your brain and your hormones?
And this is the influence.
The way you think, the way you act, your temper, all of that shit. Yeah, food.
I got to tell you, last week I was with my lady, right?
Mm-hmm.
In the heaviest time of the year, because people's weight fluctuate, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
In her heaviest time, she's 134 pounds. At her heaviest. You know what I'm saying? Time of the year. She normally drops like 10 to 15 pounds. You know what I'm saying? At her heaviest, she's 134 pounds, 5'5". But she tells me all the time how she goes into the mall, goes into Walmart, and dudes hit on her, right? She's a person who had to buy a fake wedding ring to keep them off her. But here's the thing. And she said God still approach her, right? So here's the thing. All last week, I'm with her everywhere we went, right? Them same places. Nobody bothered her. Nobody. She had me standing right next to her. Nobody bothered her.
Go home and say these things to their husband just so their man can, not even be insecure or anything, but just to have it in the back of his mind that this lady's getting hit on all the time. You know what I mean?
Got you.
Right. And some guys are insecure about that. I'm like, why are you insecure about that? Don't you like what you see? Yeah. What makes you think other men ain't?
Right.
Well,
and when you first meet a woman, you don't know if she's with somebody or not until you approach her and she tells you.
Mm-hmm. I hear you.
So what you pissed off for? They're doing the same thing you did to get her. Now approaching her. Now it's up to her to say whatever she's gonna say now.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, you came right on time, because between the unpleasant way you got excused off the panel earlier, we've been getting smoked lately. That's why we know we headed in the right direction, because we've been getting smoked. The smoke it's been there, and we don't mind. We know, again, once we opened ourselves up to content creation, it comes with a certain level of scrutiny, and we're all for that.
Same type of character that's triggered.
So let's go ahead and spend the last portion of our evening on this segment right here, you guys. Check this out. This is Shari, I believe, on TikTok. And this is her response to a comment that I made. My comment. Of course, Mrs. Harris would never start trouble at all. She is an angel. She never does anything. She's never done nothing wrong to anybody in her life.
They say they little shit and then, move
But me,
on
the other hand. So I made a comment. Single women, keep single women single.
Mm-hmm.
And Jesus is all day baby daddies. And again, we went to a birthday party in Bed-Stuy about 2 weeks ago, and there was a young lady that said Jesus was her
fucking husband.
Thank you. And I said, he's cheating on you. That was my initial response. Yes. She said, what? I said, yeah, he's cheating on you.
Yeah.
Because I was just in Baltimore, and a lady said the same exact thing. So if she said it, and you said it. And look, here we go. Because I put in a comment, just like other comments that I put in, like, are they all fat? These my comments for some reason are very influential. They spark
triggering
whole shows on me just from a comment.
That's still
like, they all fat? Are they all fat? And this was two fat girls talking to each other because they were screaming and said, I thought you said you were going to come and beat my fat self and your fat self. So if she's fat and you fat and y'all screaming at each other, my question was, are they all fat? And that comment got me some smoke, got a whole show about me. Attack my religion, attack my sexuality, attack my marriage, attack my everything was just attacked on me. Because I made a comment. My comments can be very influential. This one, single women keep single women single, and Jesus is all they baby daddies.
You know, I ain't one for the Jesus slander, so I got time for you. Let me first say that you got a lot of married women out here who's living worse than single women. And when I click on some people's profile pictures, asking me what about Jesus, making fun of Jesus, Jesus got me living better than your wife is living with you right now.
From a
how
picture.
do you know? Right. How does she know?
It makes her feel good to say these things. Sometimes it makes them feel good.
Did you see Trigger Mike today when he talked about those Thanos devil bitches that be out here? They just change realities. They got like 5 out of the 6 stones. They definitely got the reality stone. Because again, they will change reality.
Even somebody else's.
They don't even know you. And they just, again, attack after attack. And it's disingenuous at best.
And we don't want to talk about looks. Like, I mean, you know, when people start doing shit like this, it's like, you know, stop it.
Now, my son is literally dressing better and living better than you are as a grown-ass man right now. You want to know why? Because I got Jesus.
No, because
you buy his clothes. I thought it's because you bought his clothes, but I mean, you know, I guess, you know, Jesus
is dressing her, son. Because she got Jesus right in her pocket, in her bank account. It's amazing.
You know, to be quite honest with you, you know, it's sad that you got some married women literally going half on bills, and you would think that they would be able to stunt on me. Like,
because they can, ma'am. They can. If they're married, they're already stunting on you by existing. They're able to commit to something and keep it. How about you?
Let's keep going.
Where this boy
because you got someone there going half with you, I would be able to look at your house and be like, damn, that's what it looks like. But y'all literally are not living better than me right now. And I can get a camera and go through my house. Will you do the same?
She don't know I'm the person that said no one turns their camera on or has a picture. But here's my thing, Mr. Harris. Mr. Harris, what do they say about worshiping two masters in regards to church?
Oh, you can't worship two masters.
And she said her son dressed better than me. 2 incomes in our house, which she don't even know how many incomes is in our house because it's only one if she would have known. And if she had a camera, she would go all up and through her house. All of those things are about money. And she's
thank you.
Religious person.
Go try to act like you spiritual. You're gonna talk to me about the Bible 24 hours a day, and you know you really ain't like that. Just be real. That's right. You know you ain't like that. See, some of us are not spiritual. We're just an OD'd on the Bible. That's right. What do you mean, Pastor Jennings? You too spiritual. You done ran past God. That's right. You done ran past the Bible. Go ahead, bro. Let me describe to you what I mean.
I'm trying to tell you. And it's black people that's like that. That's the part that amazes me. Okay, a religion that was given to you wasn't your original religion. You were told to believe in it, and you do it out of habit. And you think it's real. Let's say, for the sake of argument, that it is real. Okay? Mm-hmm. How is it relevant to you? You know what I'm saying? I mean, like, why do you still suffer then? Why don't you have the answers to all the questions you have? You have.
She said she ain't suffering. That's the thing.
Oh, right. She ain't suffering. She's a single mother, ain't she? Is she a single mother?
Check the comments. The comments are amazing. She has a whole goddamn cheerleading group.
Oh, of course.
You know, and what gets me upset is to have the married women in there talking about how miserable they are in their marriages. Like in their marriages.
Well, I mean, they pick wrong. They chose poorly.
When a co-signing comes in, it's like, well, why would I want to choose to be married when all you bitches ain't happy? You know what I mean? But
choose
the
wisely.
Oh yeah, they love it. Again, single women keep women fucking single. The fuck?
Like
don't hate the truth. Like
that's
it is what it is. You bitches is still single.
Shit rubs them the wrong way.
And if that's what you want, good for you. It shouldn't offend you. If that's what you want and you're comfortable in that, you shouldn't be offended by somebody fucking saying it. Bitch, you're single.
Yeah.
Own that. Be proud of that.
And
shit.
Really
don't be offended by it. You know what I mean?
She don't need a man though.
Well, hey, she got her son, like she said. The fuck you talking about?
I don't understand. Like, how did people get anything out of that? Like that's not like they say that like it's a point to make. Some poignant point to make. Right. I don't need a man. I have a son. How about you get that?
Get his girlfriend.
Right. My thing is, how about you get a man in that kid's life so he can learn how to, so the guy can teach the boy how to be a man.
No,
women can't do that.
Oh, yeah, okay. Jesus. You ain't Jesus is gonna show her how to do it.
No, that's why men put men in boys' lives. That's why Jesus did that too. He did it for a reason. Since you want to believe it.
The only thing I would say in her comments is, where's this boy's daddy? Talking all this shit. Where his father at? But again, more excuses of why the daddy ain't around. Damn. We supposed to accept it and pandering.
You know, how you clowning somebody that's living better than you? And you
who's clowning?
Clowning?
How is that clowning? I thought you were proud to be single. How is it clowning?
Mm-hmm.
Huh? Is it clowning? I thought it was proud. Thought you proud. Thought you're so proud to be so single and so strong, so proud, and with your son with his fly sneakers and shit. Haircut every 2 weeks.
You got 2 damn incomes over there.
Like that's just
she been. Do you know her? Do you know her?
I know her.
Because how does she know what we got over here? I don't even know her. This is what they do. Like I said, Mandrell, just to watch everything on me get attacked the way I did, just because I asked, is they all fat? And it was like, he can't protect his wife. I've been with her 25 years. Nobody touched their hair on our chinny chin. Ever. We go everywhere we want to go. And it's so insensitive. And not because it's me, because like I always say, there's not one man in this country that you can say, yo, he did something wrong. And you go, that's an honorable dude. You got to give me some proof or something.
Right.
Can't just say it. But everybody from the Pope all the way down to Michael Jackson, all you got to do is say, yeah, you know he gay, right? Yeah. And the thing is, being gay is okay. Right. So they say.
Right.
But here's the thing. The second the gays get pissed off at you and you're a heterosexual male, what's the first slur they throw at you?
They attack your sexuality.
So if they truly believe that there's nothing wrong with what they're doing, why use your lifestyle as an insult to me? If there's nothing wrong with it.
This is a work of art.
Asking for a friend.
Yeah, when somebody was yeah.
Huh? Because you ain't got Jesus and you need him. And the day you ask for him, you might get a come up too. Because your girl over here got a major come up. And guess what? I don't need nobody to go half. You know, a lot of folks is going half on $1,000 apartments, $1,500 apartments. I pay double that shit by myself.
It's not a badge of honor, ma'am.
She's trying to convince.
That's not a badge of honor, man.
It's not a badge of honor, ma'am.
She got a $3,000 mortgage for her and her son.
Right.
They live in a museum.
That tells me that she's not good with money.
It's not righteous, like, to be up there with all this You know,
she's defending Jesus right now.
Yeah,
she's
with money.
Jesus,
you know, that says
money.
more.
With money.
Says,
with money.
Yeah, yeah. Jesus is proud of that. Yeah, man. Shit is amazing.
Old school, new school need to learn though.
Like it, and it just says it, right? Because this simple statement, if you were so proud, all of this would not be. You would not feel the need to have to say all of this to convince who what. Because she sounds stupid as hell.
So I don't need a man or want a man that quality of life is living in a $1,200 apartment. You ain't suitable for me. You know, a lot of folks talk about going half. I ain't going half on a $1,200 apartment. We going half on a whole lot more over here, bro. You know, so, you know, there's levels to this, and I know you don't understand it because, you know, some of y'all are with women that didn't have nothing when they met you, so they make y'all think that what y'all got is something. But I clicked on that post, babe. You don't want nothing over here. You wouldn't even be able to pay.
We most certainly don't. We most certainly do not.
I think that's why they be really upset.
You absolutely right, ma'am.
You most certainly do not. You're right. You're absolutely right. I want nothing over there.
We don't do that. Sorry. Y'all bitches been getting twisted. Y'all be getting real twisted. You see, all of y'all think somebody want y'all, and that's a problem. That's a problem.
And she's talking about how much money it's going to cost to be with her.
They don't want y'all. Sorry.
And she's talking about how much money it's going to cost to be with her. Why would I choose that? No matter how long my money is, that attitude, I would never pick you. I could be a trillionaire. Because you're about money. You're not about me. You're not going to be about our kids or our family if we have any. You're about the money, because as soon as the money runs dry, you need to do something. You need to get up. How about you go and get a trade or something, get some skills and help you pick. Why should I have to go half on some bills? Because you live here too. Why wouldn't you not? Since when did women not help out around the house? Black women especially.
But I just, this is what come to mind. Hey, look at this. Lady going viral on social media for calling her son her husband.
They talk about the men with the incest.
Right, and then this is where the whole fed to lunch thing comes from. Then people wonder why boys don't want to move out of their mama's basement or move out of their mama's house.
And you have some women who train their sons to be their fucking husbands. They do.
They don't know what kind of stuff like that does to boys. Okay, and see, again, women don't know how to raise boys to be men. They don't know what it takes to do that. You can't. Boys require a much more firm hand than girls do. Boys have to be tamed, but you have to be careful. Okay, because if that kind of stuff that comes from a woman, especially starting from a boy when he's real little, that traumatizes him. It puts fear in his mind of women, okay, or idolatry of women. And some women are like, well, that's cool. He should worship us. Yeah, but those guys are gay. Okay, you're creating the men that you complain about, ladies. How many times do we have to tell you this? How many examples do you need to see? You've seen enough and you've been told enough. Now I fully believe that y'all just don't care.
I mean, it's pretty. You have to be pretty conscious to carry yourself like this.
Statistics you can have as a man. Your woman represents you. If she's mouthing off, acting bitchy, disrespecting you in front of other people, makes you look like a chump. If she's adoring you, idolizing you in a way, looking up to you, that makes you look like a fucking man. And everyone else will respect you for that.
You think they're willing to sacrifice making someone else look good, having them, considering them? I think that's a bit much for, the selfishness level of today's, modern women.
Well, here's the thing. You're supposed to do that for each other. Like, there's never been a moment where I've watched you two not celebrate each other, even if you're just sitting there not talking to each other. You can see it. You know what I'm saying? And my thing is, but you got a lot of women who don't want to do that. Like, the guy has to be doing something fantastic or great for her to praise him. But and they say these things, right? However, if they found a guy who was doing those things, they still wouldn't praise him and celebrate him. That's the thing. People don't know how to be in relationships, man. They just don't, and they don't listen to advice. And it's because I said it before and I said it again. They want relationships and they want marriage. They just want them on their own terms. And life doesn't work that way. You never once think to yourself, how am I treating him? How am I presenting? How do I present to him? How is he receiving me as a mate? If you're not constantly thinking about that, you're not being a good mate.
Yeah. I mean,
and like you said, you said earlier this week, you know, it's a level of commitment. You commit to the other person, but you also commit to the relationship. It's a breathing, living thing. And if we address it as that, if we treat it as this precious thing that's constantly evolving, that's constantly changing, if we commit to it as much as we commit to each other, I think, you know, you guys were spot on when you and Trigger Mike were having that conversation. What do you got, Mrs.?
I forgot.
Okay.
It'll come back.
It'll come back. Before we get out of here, I believe I got one more, man. Tonight was a great discussion. We talked about the power of influence and the influence of power. It sprung to my mind because, you know, I think it's very, very deliberate. I think it's something that has to be very conscious. Like most of the things we talk about, the capacity to have an effect on the character, the development or behavior of someone or something. The effect itself it's monumental, world class, somebody who's very influential, because it's only two classes. It's only two classes.
Indeed. What's going on?
Yeah, I like to say no, but you got me. You got me today.
How you doing, man? How was your week? What do you think about what you've seen so far, and what would you like to share with us, brother?
Fantastic, jacked up, motivated, excited, ready to win. It's been a great week. Appreciate what you guys do. I don't know what you talking about, man, Gerald.
Early this morning, 8:30, your premiere. You got me. You got me. I'll give you that one. That was hilarious.
It was truly your fault. I just wanted to make sure we're clear on that.
Everything's been
right.
Let's be
mainly because you light skinned.
I watched it like 3 times, Mr. Harris. I watched it like 3 times. I couldn't. I was just laughing. I couldn't stop laughing at it.
Yeah, I just hopped back to you guys. I was on my sister's stream a little bit, but the things earlier with the two gentlemen that were talking about the relationship, and even the one prior to that, where it's like, you know, being in a relationship with somebody and not allowing people to talk against your mate. I mean, I think that's just in-house things anyway. Like, even if it's a sibling, like that shouldn't be tolerated. But being treacherous is just such a cool thing now. No type of loyalty. Everybody wanna turn relationships into a lick, into a heist, and it's just sickening. You know what I mean? So, I think those are principles, and I like the way he said. He was just like, people that just have that innate standard of, you are not doing this. You know what I'm saying? You're not about to talk bad about somebody I rock with or my, what he said, partner around me. It's just not happening. You know what I'm saying? That type of, because my mentor always said, he said, all you are is who you are when nobody looking.
Indeed.
Which is kind of akin to, are you the type of friend that you say you are when I'm not around? Same type of deal and principle. So that definitely hit home. And I think if nothing else, that has to be a part of what we could cement as a principle or a habit that'll preserve long-term relationships. So I think as we in these YouTube streets and we content creating, I think we have an obligation to be scribes for the ages that we are, the big ages that we are, to be scribes for principles that are going to work and give to the next generation. And I definitely think that's one of them. Not been intolerant of, I just flat out call it treachery or betrayal type of behavior. You know what I mean? I don't like the sugarcoat crap. I just think, just call it what it is and go from there. So that's what I pulled earlier. Then I seen Mandrell up here. I said I definitely hop up with that.
Sounds about right. Sounds about right.
I mean, and what was normal for me is the people who were involved with, the said gentleman, they talked the shit about them. Like, you didn't have to wait around for somebody else to talk shit about their man. They would, in their face, around them, like behind their back.
Yeah. Black Man Unfiltered talks about that a lot. Like,
and even try to check them in it. Like, yo, why you talking to him like that?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But this is somebody you love. That was always triggering for me, because it's like, I'm confused. You love him, you fucking and sucking on him, but this is how you talk to him. So it's not new. It's just being more exposed. But there's a lot of women that don't want to accept that they are abusive. They are cantankerous.
Yes.
Your mouth is fire and it's nasty, and somebody might need to punch you in it.
Ooh.
It's just getting out of control.
Damn.
So,
I'm probably gonna do a reaction to this regardless, but I'm putting in the back chat, right? I don't know if y'all played it, but it's this. If it's plain, there's no music in it. I don't think there's music in it. This guy he was a boss, and he was talking to his employee, and his employee asked him, could she use his phone? And he was like, cool. And she calls her husband. She said, hey, nigga, you ain't this, you ain't that. And then hung up and was like, here you go, boss. And he said, can I give you some feedback? He said, never, don't talk to me better than you talk to your husband. Yeah, there you go. It was just, it blew my mind.
Let's see.
A female employee that reported to me, and just very kind to me, just like the type of person you want to help win. She comes to my office. She was like, boss, can I use your phone? I was like, sure. She gets on the phone. She's like, what? I told you that. Why you did it? And then hangs up. She was like, thanks, boss. And I was like, yeah. Now this is somebody that was on my team for years. So I was like, may I ask who you were speaking to? She was like, oh, that was my husband. I said, may I give you some feedback? She said, yes. I said, please don't speak to me better than you speak to your husband. Oh. 3 years ago, I worked in the call center, and I had a female employee that reported to me, and just very kind to me, just like the type of person you want to help win. She comes to my office. She was like, boss, can I use your phone? I was like, sure. She gets on the phone.
Damn. What the? Yo.
Yeah. That was heavy.
Is that the power of influence? Again, I hear everything that y'all saying, but I kind of see where, how people try to undermine you.
Mm-hmm.
They do that because it works. When his name is Robert, and I'd be like, yeah, hey, Robert, hey, Randall, and you'd be like, his name is Rob. In the back of her mind, she go home like, yo, he be playing Robert, yo. He be straight calling him out like he know that's my man. He know. And that undermining works on some people. And when you can belittle their partner and you kind of did that a little wrong, it starts small and the snowball gets bigger. And then it becomes this blatant disrespect and insensitiveness only for them. Mm-hmm. And I noticed it in Bed-Stuy early, yo. People don't even give their significant other a name. They just be him or her. And that used to be puzzling to me. It'd be like, yo, she sent me to the store. She got me over here. Yep. Wait, who we talking about?
Right.
Oh yeah, my girl. Like, she got a name. She's a person, right? And I think it's those little nuances that lead up to these big, forms of disrespect that we see, and how you can go a bit against somebody that you supposedly love out of 8 billion people you chose them.
Yeah. I think in that clip he gave what I can call a societal solution. If more of us stop tolerating a spouse or a baby mama or a baby daddy to talk to us better than they talk to the person they made a commitment with or a child with at the same time, you're going to talk to me with respect, it'll stop being cool. Because that's why they're getting away with it. Like you just illustrated. They are doing it because they can get away with it, because we want to feel special. And I'm really against that feeling special crap, because you really waste a lot of your life in the little small moments. Man, Drell knows this. The little small moments, those little increment moments, you just pass them by. You think they're not as important as what they are because this special moment is coming. So I just let this Tuesday at 4 p.m. go by because Wednesday I'm going out with my date with my girlfriends and that. But Wednesday is so predicated on Tuesday. You can't have one without the other. And we do the special stuff, and the special person is okay, or this key employee is okay. Now the janitor is just as important because if the trash not picked up by the door, the guys they're not going to continue to come through the door and make us all money. So I don't like special. I think the entire process is special, and I think little stuff like that, if we as a society stop allowing and stop being participants and assailants in the robbery of relationships by allowing disrespect to come in as often as it does, I think that'll begin to we don't have to worry about shaming, even though they need to be shamed to oblivion. Because there's no incentive for me because I'm not accepted no way. You know how they say, go where you accept it, not tolerate it and stuff like that.
Absolutely.
So,
Celebrate it, not
that
tolerate
that clip in me.
Yeah, I gotta say, because it only took me one time with my lady, and she wasn't disrespectful or nothing. But you watch somebody, and you notice that their voice starts to elevate. I catch it right when it starts. I don't let it get any farther than that. Hey, hold on, slow down. What? Breathe. What we're not gonna do is talk to each other like that. Other people might. We ain't doing that to each other. Absolutely. I'm not going to talk to you like that. You're not going to talk to me. We're going to talk to each other, not at each other. That day forward, no problem. She smiled. She smiled at me when I said that, told me thank you, and she apologized. Never had that issue again.
That's what's up.
Absolutely. Admirable. I mean, me and the missus, we look at each other as heavyweight champions, yo. Like one punch can knock me out. Like if I slip, so it's no hitting below the belt, it's no biting, it's no scratching. It's just like we fighting for a heavyweight championship. We can fight, we can go back and forth, we can spar, jabs, hooks, all of that, but we're gonna keep it professional because once somebody hit below the belt, again, I'm not putting my mouth on you after. I'm not. I'm a
Calling you all kind of names.
Oh my goodness, I'm gonna hold a grudge forever.
Absolutely,
we're not doing that.
We both go right in the shell.
Let's remain professional.
Right.
Use some words that express how we feel. And
no, we can do silent treatment really well.
Absolutely. So kudos to you for putting up with that level of professionalism as far as fashion goes.
Thank you for teaching me because I'm ghetto as hell. Ready to bite you.
Go.
Child,
goodness gracious, this girl cursing at me all crazy.
Had to learn. Ooh, he said no.
Well, fellas, what do you guys got for final thoughts, man? It was a pleasure having y'all over. Y'all are welcome anytime. Y'all know that. Mr. Harris, you were first in, so you got the floor, sir.
Oh, yeah. Ladies, if you're talking about marriage or even thinking about it, marriage or relationships, and money is in your top 25 reasons or things you're looking for, you don't want a relationship, not a real one. You're looking for the wrong things out of it. Money should be nowhere near the top. That's something way, way back there. You need to be looking at this guy's character and every aspect of his character. That's why money is so far down the line. You got a lot of stuff to look at and notice. Is this really him? Is it just an act? Is he honorable? Is he? Look at all these characteristics and ask. And then you have to figure out: is this genuine? And that's a lot of work, a lot of observation, a lot of paying attention. You have to pay attention to him, not only how he treats you, but how he treats other people and how you treat him, how he accepts that kind of stuff from you. Yep. It's just a lot of you women have never been right. A lot of you women just haven't been taught how to vet men or what to look for in a man. That's why you keep choosing wrong. But you got to listen. You have to take advice, take criticism, and don't take it personally. That's one of my 6 rules of life. Take nothing. Try your best to take nothing personally. Stop caring what other people think too. That's why you're spending like $100,000 on a wedding You got a $10 marriage.
Shit.
Mm-hmm. I think the military helps with that.
Right.
Not $10 marriage.
Yeah, if that. A roll of quarters.
That's a bunch. That's an extra large pizza. That's great.
Hey, it's a roll of quarters. You know what I'm saying?
It's one roll.
It's laundry.
Right.
About 2 loads. About 2 loads.
Got a laundry.
Right. Your marriage worth 2 loads of
Laundry load.
Can't even dry it.
Yeah, exactly.
Gotta hang them outside.
Can you follow that? World class?
Oh yes, that's easy. You can knock that out. Yeah, I think again. First of all, appreciate y'all having me up. Appreciate the chat. Guys, if you're on the replay, please hit the like button, share it. Your credibility is worth just as much as Cashapp, if not more. Send it to your mom and them, your sisters, anybody that you know need to hear these messages. Please send it out to them. Your credibility is everything. Okay. Definitely comment at the end of this. Everybody that's in the chat, please, when the stream ends, hit a comment, say what you like, what you didn't like, or whatever. It's all needed. It helps the algos. Let's work as a team. I think words are very important. I think this is a probably perfect time to be talking about it. What you say to your partner, like I had this conversation with somebody else in the space about relationships, kind of helping them with theirs a little bit. And I think what happens, I use my last situation is to understand what breaks down when you have a close relationship with somebody, whether you're the type of person that's macho or you're the type of person that's independent. When you get to that I love you stage, or both are there, you in a vulnerable state. And what happens is one person may get scared, one person may get insecure, and that person stops being vulnerable. And the other person is still being vulnerable, and that person is getting hurt while the other person is trying to secure themselves. And the breakdown comes from one person being vulnerable and the other person not being vulnerable, which puts so much pressure on each word you say. And like I always stress with language, these words are very, very old. They're phone numbers to an ancient word or ancient world. So they frequencies. You may call it may be God's line, it may be or whatever, but they have their original intent. We can't decide what they mean, and they can hurt or help other people. You know what I'm saying? They do have that ability. So we have to be very careful with what we say, how we say it, and when we say it, because we are responsible for what comes out of our mouths. And then all the behavior around our language is just as important because of who you're saying it to and what you're talking about and whether that person's available and present or not. So I think everything needs to be done with integrity. And that's my big thing. That's what I hang my hat on is integrity. Whether you, especially when you're out of sight, I think that's extremely important and it's a good practice to have. So integrity with respects to being in a relationship is about not being treacherous, not being a betrayer, keeping your goddamn word. I don't know. It's because I'm a hood nigga, and that's all. That's the first lesson I ever learned was your word is your bond. That's all you are is your word. I don't know. Maybe that's it. Maybe that's why I know etymology and stuff like that, because your words are everything, and you got to keep your word. All your worth is your word, and it's important when what we're doing is important because this is our time. All of us that's in our 20s, our late 20s up to 50s, this is our time. This is our opportunity to make history. It belongs to nobody else but us. We got an opportunity to make history and leave our mark and give the next generation something they can be proud of. Irrespective if we think we got that from the generation before, which would emphasize why we should do it. So relationships is an extremely important part of that, how we communicate and the integrity, like I said, on how we deal with the person that we claim we love or are with and committed to when they're not there. And then also not disrespecting that person to other people in front of them. And again, when they're not there, it's vitally important to any type of relationship. Foundation of relationship, right there in the goddamn word. It's how you relate. It's there. And then the last part is ship. And like I always say, respect the craft. No.
My brother. Appreciate y'all. Appreciate y'all.
Great finding
Mrs. Harris, how about you?
Oh man, this was awesome. Be conscious of what you're influenced by. And hopefully you can see some positivity and optimism in life, because people in this world is something unique. The world is perfect. People fuck it up. So we got to do a better job being humans.
Amen.
You know?
Hey.
And it's all on how we move when nobody's looking. You know, just for my children to see me, we go grocery shopping, and to see me get them all in the car and then take fruit and go give it to a man peeled over in the side of the, pole from the heat, half sleep, half dead, woke him up to like, listen, here's some fruit, like, have this. I ain't got much money or nothing, but I'm gonna leave you with this and wake you up and tell you to move over into the shade. Like, my kids admire that. They're inspired that kindness, it shines through, and I still continue to be this way all the time. It's not just, once in a while. So, we got to show them by modeling. You just can't say it. You got to model it so the children can see it, and it's one thing for me to tell them that I love their father, but to see me do it.
Mm-hmm. And it definitely shows his head in retrospect and in hindsight. The oldest daughter is the one that, always points out that our relationship is unique, especially in 2023. And she appreciates the work that we put in to get us to where we are today. And that's influence. Just the intention of, like you guys all have said, what you do in the dark, what you do when nobody's looking. That's what I was taught. And that was in regards to sports. Again, like the practicing you doing when you not at school practice, at morning practice, at night practice, when you go to the park on your own, when you build a court out of the crate in the backyard, you go over to your neighbor's house and shoot in their backyard, when you shoveling the snow off the court, it was a dedication. It was. And that consciousness was inspirational. And again, you're a positive motivating force in my life. When L.I.A said that, it stood out to me, because a lot of people don't have that in their life.
Yes.
I hear a lot of people talk about somebody really knows you love them when you willing to die for them. You got to jump in front of a bullet. And for me, no, I don't believe that. I think it's when you're willing to live for somebody.
Amen.
When you're willing to make necessary changes. I think that's the operative time. I think anybody can die. You become a martyr. Right. Your dad was the coolest. Your dad was the best. You could be a liar. My dad could have been stupid. He's just dead. He can't refute it. There's no proof.
Amen.
Sometimes saving life is instinct. It might not even be about you.
You just gave me an idea. Yes, because that's something I've actually been thinking about. I've heard that before. I don't know. I don't think anyone knows how to live for the other person.
Okay.
I don't think so. I mean, if y'all want to do a show about that, I'll buy a ticket. You know what I'm saying? I'll pay for it. You know what I'm saying? I'll pay to watch that.
When you say live for someone, again, I'm just thinking about the consideration of another person in your life, like the moves that you make, the decisions that you make, and again, even how you act when no one's looking is in consideration of these people, like my daughters. If I'm not a good guy when nobody's looking, I don't feel as confident telling them, don't go down this path, don't do this, don't do that, because when no one's looking, I do it.
Right.
So when I look in the mirror, I know I'm lying to my kids. Again, I'm the person that has to look me in the mirror. And it's kind of like that prenup. Nobody knows the agreement that we really have unless we tell them, because it's a personal thing. But there's a lot of people that look in the mirror and don't like what they see when that's staring back at them.
Yeah. And there's people who are like that and don't know that they don't like themselves.
I've seen it.
Because like my sister finally asked me one time, because I told her, because she saw a big change in me like a few years back, right? And she said, what changed in you? I said, I was walking around angry all the time, just angry. She said, at who? I said, myself. And so the look on her face was a look of shock. You know what I mean? Because again, growing up, when we were growing up, I was just happy-go-lucky kid. You know what I'm saying? Got into boy shit. You know what I'm saying? Just did macho shit all the time. You know what I'm saying? So, but did it with a smile on my face. Till I hurt myself and still laughing and carrying on. I get out the army, it's a whole nother person comes home. So I mean, but yeah, I mean, I didn't know I was angry at myself until years of therapy cleared a lot of that out. You know what I'm saying? I think a lot of people don't even realize that they're pissed off at themselves. Yeah.
Mr. Noble,
forgive yourself.
I did my best to speak to this. I mean, if you treated yourself like you were your spouse, and you watch your spouse get up, praise everybody, but you, how would you feel? If you constantly watch yourself go hard for everybody, but not you, and tell everybody the truth but lie to you, how would you feel? What would you think about yourself? And most people tangibly, physically hate themselves. They really do hate themselves. Like a lot of these chicks, they put their outfit on, they go, oh, I'm so cute, but you look like somebody else. You don't look like you. You hate you. You don't ever give yourself an opportunity to shine. You're not flaunting your genes. And to Mandrell's point, they don't even know they don't like themselves because they're too busy being somebody else. They don't even know who the hell they are. Like in like the conscious community, they talk about knowledge yourself, and they will bring up whether you're Moor, whether you are from Kemet or Hebrew. But knowing yourself is none of those things. Knowing yourself is knowing whether you're a coward or not, whether you're worth getting up an hour earlier or an hour later, whether you have compassion truly in the worst situations or the best situations. That's what true knowledge of self is. You look at any Bible, if you look in the Bible, you look at Jesus, it wasn't none of that religious stuff. It was just straight law. It's this, that's not written in your law that ye are gods for ye are sons of the Most High. That's all he talked about. So even like a Christian, I need to have a good relationship with God. You need to learn the law. Like people don't really know, like I said, on the negative side of it, like this world is based off violence, and you can't hide from people that know where to look. And the problem is when you're dealing with spirituality, the enemy knows where to look to find you, but do you? Do you know what the enemy is? Can you distinguish your voice from it? The greatest trick the devil ever pulled was convincing the world it didn't exist. But how? By pulling the greatest con he ever pulled. The greatest con he ever pulled was convincing you that he's you. We've been hearing that voice for so long, we think it's us when it's not. And what we know we can get it from now is that damn television. That's why I turned this shit off. And a lot of the thoughts you think are yours are not even yours. You don't the most advanced technology and the most dangerous technology is that damn television. It's doing so much stuff it doesn't even make any goddamn sense. It's so much what sounds like what sounds like a little frequency is probably a bunch of words sped up times 50, and they're programming your brain. Your brain pick it up, but your ears can't. You know what I'm saying? So
codes and all that.
I seen that, man.
Colors. Yeah.
Mrs. Harris, what do you think?
I mean, you wonder why the children's brains are so just out of whack, and everybody has ADHD, and our kids can't have no control because we have them in front of our face, and we're putting them in front of our face with them in the belly, and then when they come out, it's the first thing they see is these big ass 75-inch screens and 55-inch screens, and just to consume their time and keep them quiet, we put these things on, but it's not healthy for them. It's not. It's not working out. Turn them things off. Talk to your babies like humans. Read.
Word.
Write. Sign. Introduce other languages if you are equipped already. Like, don't wait. You counting in English, you count in Spanish, you count in Arabic, you count in Japanese. You do it all at one time because they're gonna consume it all. From birth to 5, they are taking on everything.
Indeed. That book right there. We got a really good book that we would suggest parents to grab. We just picked it up and it's amazing. It is Natural Remedies for Kids natural remedies for kids because they need to know holistic alternatives that come from the earth. No medicines, all natural remedies. So look into it. It's written by, give me a second.
Kate.
Yep, that's going to be Miss Kate. Miss Kate Tatiji.
Mm-hmm.
And Bob Zajac,
MD. I mean, and it's a lot of great information in here. So people who have children who have sleeping disorders and ADHD, is so many different natural healing teas and just, things that you can do to take away the meds that they're trying to give your children to see if it works.
Absolutely.
And it's all about diet. You got to take away all those dyes. It's so much information in here. So, the way our children eat, it's really fucking their brains up.
So be conscious, be mindful, and try to influence them to ingest healthy things into their body and healthy things into their mind.
And at least get some information. So when you do go to these doctors, you can have these questions because they'll tell you anything. They really don't care. They really don't care.
Absolutely not. They will tell you anything. Anything.
I believe I got one more in regards to this right here. Man, Drell might like this one. He's a health person that's completely conscious on all things diet. Shout out to you. Shout out to the big picture. Shout out to world class. Undefeated, of course.
Yes.
Shout out to the missus, the shame lady. I call her the shame lady.
Shame lady.
Yeah, I call her the shame lady around here. Say the shame lady's coming. Watch out.
The bell's coming down the steps.
Put that away. Come to shame lady. All right, Mr. Harris, what do you think about this video right here?
It's trying to come. As long as they put that on there, they're gonna put it on the market. And something that says that, it's like you have to consider. Wait a minute.
Yeah.
Y'all ever notice how the worst stuff is if you're pregnant and then all like the worst stuff just comes out of nowhere? Like, oh no, I would never want to get sick if I was pregnant.
Pregnant women don't take no pills.
No.
Right. And the whole thing about us being fat and whatnot. Yeah. I mean, they it's a one hand washes the other type thing. You know what I mean? Again, they took the whole fat-free thing was true. Foods were fat-free. That they said were fat-free. The problem with fat-free foods is they're disgusting. They taste terrible. They taste terrible, right? Fat is delicious. And the thing is, you need fats. You need macronutrients, proteins, carbs, fats. You need that. But then people say, oh, it's fat-free, so it must be healthy. No, it's not, actually. But if you take the fat out, you have to replace that with something to make it taste good and flavorful. In this case, they chose sugar. And high fructose corn syrup is sweeter than sugar by far and away, and cheaper than sugar by far and away. So they went with that and left the sugar alone. So that's why high fructose corn syrup is in everything. Now, here's the kicker. High fructose corn syrup is something farmers have been using for the eons of time to fatten up bulls, to make bulls nice and fat for slaughter. And you're a human being. What do you think it's going to do to you?
Bang. Bang.
Yeah, Noble's going to be on my show tomorrow afternoon. He's going to talk about his vegan diet.
Yes, I want to hear.
Make that face. Fix your face.
No, I don't know why you're a vegan, man. I mean, suit yourself, but
because I like being alive.
Lorette need to do that too.
Food is overrated.
Are you really? Are you really living?
I am with my steaks. I am.
Yeah. Listen, I'm gonna save the jokes for tomorrow because
I want an icy. It's time for an icy. It's time for a fruit icy, all natural, made by Mrs. Harris. We trying to eat healthy snacks. We used to like Cheetos sometimes, little corn puffs, or cheese puffs.
Yeah,
but we let them.
Them damn chocolate chip cookies.
It's been a while.
Yeah.
We let them go. We've been on much healthier snacks, nuts, grains. And that's, in the nighttime. In the daytime, we completely health nuts. I drink a bottle of water. I have mixed nuts and protein granolas every morning.
And berries and all kinds of berries and grapes. And
salad and fruit with every meal. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
Yeah, I've been adding a lot of protein because the meat
you're gonna get sugar, get it from fruit.
Yeah.
You'll get full off fruit before you eat too much of it. Take fruit seriously, man. I mean, as sweet as fruit is, there's more sugar in a bowl of cereal than there is in fruit. Like seriously, as sweet as fruit tastes, a lot of fruits out there. A lot of them have less sugar than a bowl of cereal.
So world class, what do we got to look forward to tomorrow, man? You're gonna give us a sneak peek or what?
I don't know what questions he's gonna ask me. Because
I'm gonna ask.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah, but
Recipe?
just I'm gonna give as many recipes. Listen, I've told people for years, anything I've consulted with people with, I don't charge people, so I'm gonna give up whatever y'all need. It don't matter to me. I just want to see people healthy.
Have my pad.
Yeah.
Yeah. So just ask as many questions as possible. The best thing about me is I don't lie under any circumstances. And if I don't know something, I can get the information. So yeah, we're gonna do the best I can to make things really, really simple and just it's easy to grasp the concept so you can, you know what I'm saying, know it without me having to be there. Because I don't like that type of crap. I want people to have their own understanding, but I do the best I can to make perfect sense. So it's like you have.
Shout out to Lost in Translation.
Oh, shout out! So when you are weighing your options on what you want to put in your body, you're clear on this vegan side on what you're getting and what you got to go do. So clear all of this because, like what y'all just said, when I started, I'll talk about this tomorrow. I started with snacks. That was the first thing because I knew what type of eater I was and the habits I had. So I'm like, yeah, I'll snack. So let me switch to snacks. And if I switch to snacks and I see results with the snacks, it just inspired me to continue to go because I'm swapping out soda for juice and tea, and I feel 1 billion times better. I'm swapping out Doritos for these bean chips. I feel 1 billion times better, and I'm swapping out these sugar candies for these vegan. What was they? Coconut based sugars and stuff, and I feel 1 billion times better. So that just made everything easy. So the snacks is what I started with. I usually encourage people to start with snacks when you're switching.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, fellas, man, we appreciate y'all. This was a good one, man. Hope y'all had a good night, man. Shout out to everybody in the chat. We are on deck for this weekend, man. I got something dope for y'all. Saturday. Bring your focus with you. And I hope you don't like Jay-Z, because you ain't gonna like me if you like Jay-Z. I'm gonna tell you now.
Wait, you don't like Jay-Z?
I mean, I can't say I don't like him, but you know, him and Puffy got big kills.
I don't like him. What?
Yeah, that's the thing. I've never been a Jay-Z fan, like ever.
He makes his music and he does his thing, but you know, like in any murder investigation and any mystery that y'all seen, don't the detectives always ask who gains the most from this person dying?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, even Jay said.
Yeah, go ahead.
Even Jay said, I ain't into liking dudes no way. So, you know.
Yeah, man.
That's what it is.
You know, it's just a interesting look that I wanted to take a look, especially now with the whole Keefe D and Puffy and all this information coming out. So let's take a look at it. And like I said, man, if you like Jay-Z, don't come, because it's not going to be favorable for him. But we're going to have a conversation, and the missus will be here on Sunday, the Shame Sunday.
Shame.
And that's the weekend for us, man.
Yes.
Hopefully I'll get her out. Yeah.
Nice, man. Nice. I mean, y'all keep up what y'all doing, man. Like I said, dope content as usual. Thank you for having me. Appreciate it. You know,
thank you for coming out.
Not a problem. Not a problem. Y'all need it out here in this space. People who should be celebrated, oftentimes are not. It's just a damn shame.
Hey, it's out. We'll have our turn. I was in another content creators. I was in another content creators chat, and I was saying, listen, we just gotta wait our turn. You know, the mature side of the space, it'll come, because more than likely they'll need us more than we need them.
Right.
It'll be because of something serious, and then they'll be over here, and I'm like, hey, we just gotta prepare and be ready.
Because you know you tell people about your YouTube channel and stuff like that. I tell it in over there on Jay Prince's channel, right? I told her what it was about, and the whole nine: health, fitness, diet, what you should eat, what you shouldn't, all the whole nine, right? This joker said like a week later, ain't nobody doing no YouTube channel like that. Like, I told you that I was doing it. Look how quickly people forget. I'm just like,
bless his heart. Bless his.
But he's not the only one, man. It's just it's wild though. Like, it's wild to me.
But yeah, man, all we could do is keep doing what we doing, keep making the content that y'all make. Like you said, man, world class. Sooner or later, if we build it, they will come, and we will have more furnishing. We will have better curtains hung up, and we will be ready to entertain because company is here. So me and the missus is gearing up. We got all types of new segments. We got all types of new banners and new thumbnails and new intros and new everything. So y'all just stay tuned, man, because we create content, been creating it since the 90s when we walked up to each other in a nightclub.
We started creating babies.
And absolutely, that's something you stick to it. So, you know, from Blog Talk Radio all the way till now, we still here. We gonna be here, man. So y'all do something good for somebody other than yourself, because that's when real talk shines through.
Word. Until next time, peace.
Peace to the gods. Peace to the earth.
Everything in creation and in physical form has its own fundamental resonant frequencies.